It's not going to be at the one. I don't really understand how to do that.
Okay. Now we have something. Okay, there you are. There you are, kid. There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's working now?
Yeah, yeah.
Sweet.
You're rolling, dude.
Sweet. It's not going to be at the there, I don't want to.
Steve 513. It's been a while. I haven't seen you guys participate in quite some time.
Oh man, it's been a while.
Indeed.
Get
Have you guys
people in here.
had
There we
any
go.
chance to interact with this person about to join us?
Honestly, I just came in to watch the stream.
Right, it's gonna be good. And I can't
Hey,
wait.
welcome everybody. I don't know. Here, let me mute these fuckers real quick, or let me go in here. All right, hello everybody. How you doing? Welcome. It looks like we got 30 watching. I don't see anybody in chat right now for some reason. Hello, anybody in chat? It says there's 36 watching. And I'm also wondering if the chat is coming across the live chat here. I haven't done the stream in a while, guys, so I'm kind of... Okay, here we go. Kathy Franklin, what's up? Joe Johnson, hello. See nothing in live chat. See, that really bugs me. It's supposed to be working. Chat box. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it looks like it's working. So, I don't know. Hopefully we'll see it in chat. There it is. Awesome. Okay. Oh, man. Michael Gear. Started watching Drone Tech in 2015. Thanks for what you do, man. Hey. No problem. It's an obsession of mine. It has been going back to, you know, Bush is when I first got into politics, and this is a great outlet for it. So, it's my pleasure. Justin Johnson. Excuse me, everybody. Douglas Moyer, what's up, man? Kevin157. Hey, I'm still waiting for this guy to show up. He's not here yet. I assume he'll be here pretty soon. But in the meantime, I am going to debate some people on Omegle. I couldn't remember how to pronounce it. Omegle. And I'll do that here in a minute. I figured I'd just let it build up a little bit, talk a little bit with all of you. Like I said, I don't do this very often. If you've come here, and I always give this little disclaimer, you know, I'm not particularly good at live streaming, which is why I don't do it often. I do my best, and I will do my best for you all tonight. I'm not prepared for a hardcore debate here. You know, I'm just going off the cuff of what I know. I don't have any stats or studies ready. To be quite honest with you all, this guy is like, I don't know, he may be like 18 years old. I have no idea how he found this Discord server. It was either a poll I ran the other day on the YouTube community page, or possibly one of my people, Halfway Gunner, I think maybe, was on another server.
Do you want me to like drag people in or what?
Well, not yet. I'm just talking to the stream right now. I'll let you know.
All right.
That was my brother, in case you didn't know. I'm gonna just go through the chat here real quick, see everybody that's here. I know you all are ready for a debate, from rip-roaring debate content. It should be what are we debating? Aircraft Sparky asks. What's up, buddy, by the way? And Smoke Steve, what's up to you? Of Trigger Warning TV. Is that still a thing, by the way, Smoke Steve, Trigger Warning TV? Or are they all into the movies now? Let me put in chat. I forget what their movie studio is called. Anyway. Can you hear me better now? Is that better? Better volume for me? It is kind of low, isn't it? Is that better? Let me know if it needs to go up anymore. Oh, what's up for the win, Nil? I know I'm not saying your name right, but how is it now? I'm like right up on the microphone, so I know I got music playing. I don't know if you guys can hear it. It's just for a little background until we get going here. It's good now? Okay. Drone Tech, you're not live on your other channel. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just streaming to this one. Black Octopus Productions. Yes. So Orwellian. I love it. As those of you who are coming in right now, I will be debating here pretty soon. The guy's not here yet. I'm waiting on him, but that's okay. I have another plan in mind, which I'm going to go forward on here in just a minute. Just waiting for people to pile in here and get ready. Get your popcorn and soda pops. Perhaps a carbonated soda. Or a beer. I am drinking tonight Three Floyd's Barbarian Haze, which is delicious. You're waiting on the other feed. Feisty, yeah, it's not. Come here. Guys, Feisty, all of you guys come to this one. I don't know why it didn't go to that one. It just didn't. Let me get everybody over there. Let me do that real quick, all right? Everybody, 1 second. Aircraft Sparky, what's up, buddy? Oh, you asked me what we were debating. We're going to be debating SCOTUS, the SCOTUS leak, protests, probably abortion a little bit too. I'd really like to get into, this guy is a spaz, okay? I'm just letting you guys know. He's probably mostly going to be like calling me names and stuff. I don't know. He doesn't seem right in the head, but I figured, hey, I'll give him a shout out here. It might be good content. We'll see. But we're going to talk about that. I want to talk about, gender theory in the schools and grooming of children by freak ass teachers who brag about it on TikTok. And I want to talk to him about that, see what he thinks. We got into a little bit in Discord today, so I kind of know what to expect with this guy, but he's a little bit of a loose cannon. We'll see. All right, so I'm turning off the music. We're gonna start warming up here. A little debate warm up with some complete strangers. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this website. 1 second, I'm just trying to pull this up so I can see you guys. White right? What? Drone Tech. I joined your Discord hoping it's a great community. Of course it is, Aircraft. It's actually a really great community. I'm not even just like saying that. I've been on a lot of Discords and most of them are dead, to be honest. Most of the ones I'm in, and mine's dead sometimes, but there are a lot of people in here carrying on a lot of interesting conversations most of the day. I got a lot of memes posted daily in the meme section, so if you're looking for those, it's a great place to get them. Ukraine war, or Russia Ukraine war videos, things like that. So all right, let's get started. I'm just gonna go on this and we'll see who we get. It's gonna be interesting. Let's go. Oh yeah, I was gonna explain Omegle. It's just basically, I think it used to be a bunch of dudes. It's like chat roulette or something. It's basically just dudes beating off on camera. But they've locked this down pretty good now, and you can put in things you want to talk about, and they filter you towards normal people, and it can be pretty interesting. And also, I have a channel right now. It's called Live Events. If you come to the Discord, everybody's piling up in there because we're probably going to be doing something involving everybody at some point. We always do when we do these. So if you'd like to join in, come to my Discord. You can get that link in the description or in the chat. I'm sure someone will post it. My mods. Thank you to my mods, by the way. Appreciate you guys always. Let's get started. Here we go.
So, hey, what are you doing here?
What are you doing here? What the fuck is
before. No, I've seen you before. Where are you from?
happening? Can you guys...
Don't ask if
Hey, you're not gonna... Nothing bad's gonna happen, right?
No, nothing bad's gonna happen.
Did I talk to you last time I did this?
No, I've seen you before. What's your name on YouTube?
Drone Tech.
It sounds Like I've seen something. I don't know what.
You know
but
what?
No, nothing bad.
It's really weird. Every time I do this, folks say that. What's happening? What am I looking
Okay,
at?
look. So this was my original background, but no one liked it.
All right, I gotta get out of here. I don't know what the hell's about to happen, but I don't want it on the live stream. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. No, guys, I think this guy's gonna show up. He told me he might be a little bit late, so I already had planned on doing this. So don't worry about it. Hey, anyway, if he doesn't show up, this could still be fun. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Thanks for asking. So I feel like we're gonna probably have the same opinion.
You think so?
Yeah, you could tell, certain.
I can tell by the way you talk.
Yeah, I can tell by the way you talk, the way you dress, lots of different things.
All right. Well, cool. Well, good luck to you then, sir.
Yeah, God bless.
Yeah.
Hello.
Cool mask.
Thank you. That's nice.
I bet you're saving so many lives right now. Do you know that? You're so brave.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you.
What's up?
Not much. Not much.
You out like just you want to debate about something or
don't
discuss something?
I'm happy to talk about anything you want to talk about.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess I'm supposed to debate somebody here. You're on a live stream, by the way. I'm supposed to debate somebody, so I'm just kind of.
Oh, it's okay. How many people are watching?
I'm sorry. Not many. I mean, 71 right now. Not many. So it's small.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm kind of warming up for talking to this guy, but I wanted to talk about your opinions on. We'll start, I guess, on the SCOTUS, on the Supreme Court leak. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I don't have too strong of an opinion. I think it doesn't really matter very much in the long run. People would just vote on it, and it is what it is. Yeah.
I mean, are you a pro-choice or pro-life?
I wouldn't say my opinion is super strong in either direction. It's not like a super popular take on either side, but
no, I'm actually probably like you. I'm kind of.
I was just gonna say I think it helps the population to have people getting rid of unwanted kids. Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not anti-abortion. I think probably there are reasons to have it, obviously, for a woman's health and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it really comes down to is it once it's got a heartbeat and stuff, Yeah. I think we should at least be honest about it. It is killing. You are killing a life. I hate how people beat around the bush about it.
Yeah, but I mean, do you know what happens when people who have kids by accident have more kids than people who don't?
If what?
Okay, well, let me just ask you this. Who do you think has the higher IQ? Someone who doesn't have kids by accident or someone who does have kids by accident?
I mean, probably the lower IQ side is going to be having kids by accident more.
And who do you think has better impulse control? Who do you think is more likely to not act on impulses that might hurt their future or be bad for society?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's why these abortion clinics are in all the low-income areas. I mean, that's where you're at.
True. And then also on top of that, what do you think happens to the average, unwanted kid? Do you think they become a net positive for society or a net negative? Well,
I mean, I think honestly that once you cross that line, it's getting kind of weird because who knows? I think every person should have a chance at least.
Yeah, when you're playing the numbers and being realistic, you can have to say that the average person does the average for their demographic, right? So the average person born to a middle-class family will have a middle-class outcome and so on, right? You have to be realistic on maybe any individual can do fine, but on average, on the millions, people will do average, right, for their demographic.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I understand that,
it's
but
not a big deal. It's really probably in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot of people.
So what are your feelings on just America, democracy, American institution, the Constitution?
Yeah, I'm not super into it. I don't really care very much about it. I don't know. I'm just a low IQ idiot. What is opinion matter about anything.
Yeah, well, I mean, mine doesn't either, but it's fun to talk about, right?
Sure, yeah.
All right, well, I guess have a good night. You were kind of fun.
All right.
I'm a little sad and depressed now, but hey.
Sorry, I didn't mean to depress you.
It's okay.
Have a nice
Have a
night.
good night. What was that? That was so weird. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm great. Great. Do you want to discuss or debate anything, or?
Not particularly.
Okay. Well,
Ooh, actually,
why
what
are you
is something interesting?
Are you
Huh?
are you into Naruto or Naruto? No. Oh.
For what?
Why are you wearing a mask?
Oh, some people stream on here.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay. All right, on. I never even thought about that. Okay, but what were you gonna ask?
Oh yeah.
I am streaming, by
What?
the way.
You are?
Yeah. Sorry.
See? You don't fucking ask.
No, you're right.
You don't fucking ask people.
The last person, that's like the first thing I said. So I apologize. I just kind of, I got stuck on the mask and like, yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize.
And you were the exact reason why the mask came.
I know. The irony. So I apologize. There's only 84 people viewing. There's like nobody.
That's fair. What is something interesting or remarkable about you?
Nothing particularly, I don't think. I do the YouTube channel. That's probably it. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I raise my 3 kids, and I do YouTube.
See, that's an interesting thing.
Okay, how
That's
about you?
interesting. I work at a market, selling art, not my art, but somebody else's. I'm in school for media production to do sound design shit, and I like to think that I know a lot of music.
Okay, that's cool. What kind of media?
Audio specifically. So
okay.
like doing sound design for spaces, and whatnot.
Oh, that's cool. I used to be sort of into that stuff, but yeah, that's really neat. I'm kind of just looking for people to talk about like the Supreme Court like leak and the protests going on at judges' homes, just people's thoughts on that. Do you have any?
I do have them. Do I want to share them? Not particularly.
What? Okay, that's cool. I thought I'm not used to using this platform at all. I've only done it a few times, so I don't really know. I put in like keywords like debate and SCOTUS, I think, or something like that, or politics, and I just figured it was like it put me into like a pool of debaters or something.
Listen, dog, I'm just here to fuck with people.
That's cool. I like that.
Like that's about it.
All right. Well.
But good luck with your stream.
Thanks.
You know?
I appreciate it. I'm sure I'll come along on you later, and maybe we'll reconnect.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, later. What is going on? Yeah, guys. Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't found anybody good yet, but just give it time, and this guy is gonna show up. I'm telling you.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, man?
I am doing great.
All right. That's
How are you
what
doing?
brings it to the politics side.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of wanting to debate or discuss or debate or however you want to go. Just about like Supreme Court leak and the protests and your feelings on those and
abortion.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we can talk about that too. I'm sure. I mean, it's bound to come up, but yeah.
I mean, I really don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, abortion is just like why? I mean, I'm in favor of abortion, keeping abortion. I think it's beneficial.
Full like at any time, no restrictions at all.
I don't know about that, but yeah, sure, maybe. depending on the situation.
Okay, well, so I mean, you just don't care. Like it's just like whatever. Like
I
you don't
think it's
care
beneficial for the economy, you know, and
for the
for the
economy.
financial well-being of the people to have abortions, you know.
Well, I mean, I think that there obviously like there's reasons to have abortions, and it should be allowed. I mean, it shouldn't be like completely restricted. But I think, well, I don't even know about restrictions because it obviously gets into like government having some form of control over someone's body. But I think that there is like a really like weird. It's really hard to really settle a debate on whether we're talking about two separate bodies here, which. I mean, it's kind of hard to deny. It's not, at least at some point, two separate bodies.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way. Like, I'd consider it a human being, but it's just like, you know,
Well, if it's a
it
human
is what
being,
it is.
then, I mean, then it's got rights.
No, I don't think humans deserve rights. I think
Oh,
they should
really?
have privileges. Yeah.
Are you like, where would you put yourself on like the political spectrum?
I don't see politics as a spectrum.
Well, I mean, what ideology do you subscribe to? Or, I mean, you don't necessarily have to, but like, you should be able to place yourself somewhere. Or are you just like anarchist?
I'm not an anarchist. I'm not an ideologue either. You
Okay.
know?
That's fair enough. I mean, you just don't want to put a label on it. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to be anything, it's probably something incredibly authoritative. But yeah.
Right on. Well, at least you're. So, like, who do you have like a leader that you look up to, or that you would like to see someone emulate?
No, they're all cringe. Yeah.
All right, that's cool. All right, man. Well, have a good night.
Night.
Like, there's no point in talking to somebody like that, you know, because there's no point in talking to somebody like that because it's like I don't believe in anything. I don't care. Like everybody I've talked to tonight, I'm in politics. SCOTUS, like abortion, debate, that's my key words. And I'm running at people who don't give a shit about anything. Like, I don't understand that. How could you not care? Where is this guy? I want to debate this guy. Where is he? He's probably bailed, honestly. He's probably not going to show up. It's okay. I got other backup stuff to do. We'll bring in people from Discord. If you guys want to join me, description. There's a link. Join us. Let's start. Let's go. Oh God, it's you again. Modeling dough. What is the fuck? What's up, man?
Is that a YouTube silver play button behind you?
No. No. What are you talking about? What's up, man?
Yeah.
Are you in the military?
In the military? No.
College?
College? No.
Oh, you just look like you're in an institute or office of some kind.
No. It's my room.
Oh, okay. That's cool. It's an interesting room. It's cool. What country? Is this American architecture?
Yeah, this is in New York.
Oh, okay. That's cool. So are you into like you are on a live stream, by the way. I keep forgetting to say that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
There's like 80 people on. There's like hardly anybody. Yeah, I was just looking to debate people or discuss topics, political topics. Are you into that?
Sure, yeah. What do you got for me?
Well, just the hot topics going on right now, like the Supreme Court leak and the protests that are going on at the judges' homes, and just the way politicians and the media are reacting to that, and probably abortion at some point. Anything.
Right. So, what is your stance on abortion?
It's like I was just telling the last person. It's like a lot of people think I'm like a conservative right winger, but like when it comes to abortion, it is really hard to say because it's like I think that it should be available, obviously, because there's reasons that there would need to be, even if they are rare. But once it starts getting into later terms, I feel like it is a human being. It's a living human being, and it does kind of make me wonder why nobody can be honest about that, for one, and why nobody can be honest about what's happening, and you're killing a human life. And I think that there is a question of whether or not that is just the woman's body or two bodies. And I do feel bad that women have that burden. It is a burden that they have to carry, but I think that I think I also think it's disturbing that our society kind of encourages that as a solution rather than really pushing people to be just like better human beings, more responsible. You know, and a lot of people say that's impossible. It's hard, but we should try.
What is more responsible? What would count as more responsible? Like,
well, I mean, there's a lot of different options to take before you get to killing a human life. Out of
right, so
in most cases, convenience.
Right, so you're either talking about protection or you're talking about actually having the baby and like working hard.
I think if you're carrying it to like the second term, I mean, at that point, it's like just have it, and your life's gonna change. It's gonna be hard. I mean, having a kid is hard.
Look at it this way, right? You have
I have
the
3
option,
of them. I know.
You have the option to protect yourself, right? To use
absolutely,
protection.
yeah,
definitely. But that's either what, a condom, or what is the other, like birth control?
Well, there's there's tons of different like options for women, not so many for men. You know,
okay, let's say those are the two main ones, right? It's everybody uses a fucking condom and birth control, right?
Right. That pretty much will do it. I mean, that's gonna do
it. Both are insanely unhealthy. Have you ever thought about this? How unnatural is it to strip on a piece of plastic on your dick?
It sucks.
And then, you know, sex is just not just like a dick and a pussy. It's like a lot of bacteria, hormones, like I don't even know. Like it's like so many chemicals. If you block all of that through plastic, I don't know how good that feels. And 2, birth control messes up her hormones to the point that, I mean, it's just completely unnatural. It's like
no, I
so
know.
fucked.
No, I'm with you. Right. My wife, you know, I'm at the situation now. Yeah, sorry.
Completely natural though.
Yeah, I mean, my wife hates taking it. She won't. I mean, she wants me to get a vasectomy, which I don't really want to do. I keep hoping like a pill will come out or something for men. But it's like you just got to do what you got to do. There's also, and look, again, I am not like some right-wing conservative Christian. I'm not religious at all. But there is abstinence, okay? Like if you can't have the baby and you don't think you can afford it, then maybe not participate in the act that creates the life in the first place. I mean, I know people think that that's just like impossible, but it works. I mean, it's 100. People are like, it never works. It's like, it does though. If you don't have sex, you can't have the baby.
I mean,
and that's what I'm talking about. Our society, like our society is just like, oh no,
maybe you
can't do that.
About women, there's like a statistic says that most men nowadays are having almost. It's like very little sex to almost none.
Yeah.
Most men, right? That's why there's like an incel movement and stuff. But
men are too afraid to talk to women at this point. I don't blame them. I'm so glad I'm married.
If women should be having less sex, I think it's gonna be hard to convince them, dude. I don't know. Well, if that's what you think.
Well, and I also think that probably. They talk about, oh, if there's no, and I'm not ever advocating for a complete ban on abortion. I would never do that. It just doesn't make logical sense, and I don't think the government should be controlling like women's bodies. But yeah, I forget what I was gonna say. Yeah, I lost my train of thought there. But anyway. Fuck, I lost my train of thought on that. I hate that. I start thinking about something else, another argument, and I lost track. Hey, what's up?
Hello.
How you doing, man? You want to debate? You're on the live stream, by the way.
Oh.
Is that cool?
I'm drunk.
That's cool. Me too. I'm working on it anyway. Yeah.
What are we debating about?
Well, it doesn't even have to be a debate. Just like a discussion or whatever. It doesn't matter. I was talking about just sort of the hot topics, you know, SCOTUS leak, the protests. It always ends up abortion. I don't really want to talk about abortion. I know it's like almost
so how protests always get violent here.
Well, I have a very I feel like the protests at the homes of judges has a very specific problem with it. It seems like a lot of people don't see that, and it's like you should.
I didn't comprehend that.
Okay, I'm sorry. So what's your position on people protesting at the homes of judges?
Give them some privacy. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, we would never do that. Like, go to somebody's home and yell at them.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. The optics of that just don't look good to begin with. Thing is, they do have a right, as long as they're on a public sidewalk, unless that neighborhood's like gated or something.
But it's gay and retarded.
Right. Well, and there's also the issue of what are they doing? Like they're at a judge. Like if you're at a judge's home and you're protesting with a mob, that's obviously like an intimidation factor. So you're trying to get them to change their ruling. And if you do, like just the act of doing that, like lowers confidence and legitimacy of the court in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're gonna end up destroying the country. Like if we don't have a Supreme Court and that institution falls, it's just gonna be like dominoes.
I don't. It's crazy.
All right. Well, have a good night, brother. That dude is just like hammered. This guy is probably. We were up to 100. Now we're going down. Sorry, guys. I'm trying my best here. What's up, man?
Hello.
How you doing?
Pretty good. What about you?
Pretty good, man. You're on a live stream, just so you know.
That's fine.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I muted you. What's up?
Oh, you're good. No, I was just telling you you're on a live stream, and yeah, I'm just looking to have discussions, debates, whatever, about topics.
Cool. I'm down on one condition.
Okay.
You have to bring up a topic.
Yeah, I got topics ready.
Cool. Let's do it.
All right. So, well, we can talk about a lot of different things. One, I wanted to talk about what your thoughts were on the protests that are currently going on, like at judges' homes over the Roe vs. Wade thing.
I mean, I definitely think, okay, so are like judges, I don't know too much about like the logistics of this. So like are judges home, like are their homes like secret and they were like doxxed? Like how does
Right,
that
they
work?
got doxxed. Yeah, it was a group, it was a left-wing group called Ruth Sent Us, referring to Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
yeah, a fucking like Ruth would ever do that. Okay.
Right, and she was actually she actually
Let's start
said
there.
that
If you're intelligent enough to be a Supreme Court justice, I'm pretty sure you're against violence, like just in general. So I'll tell you, this is what my thought on it. I had this thought recently, and basically it was that we've reached a point in history again where, and people don't notice this, but like the elites of this country are literally beginning to use civilians as actual military pawns for their agenda. And whether it be the left side or the right side, it's getting to a point where we've almost never seen this in history against ourselves. You know, obviously the government rallies its citizens to use as military pawns overseas, but now it's like which side can get their group to grab weapons and physically harm the other side to get what they want now. And my point of view is literally like, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna fucking fight for anyone else except myself. So if you think I'm gonna get up and fight your battle, you've got another thing coming.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, see, it's what I find is that I get on here thinking I'm going to find a bunch of people who are going to be spewing a bunch of nonsense. But what I find is that when you get away from Twitter and you get away from the media, most people are pretty rational.
I don't know about
even
that.
though I gotta tell you, even on here, I gotta tell you, man, I keep encountering like normal, well, fairly normal, rational people. Anyway.
I like talk to a lot of people who ask me like, so they're like, so you're a liberal, just based on my appearance, you know, I look fairly queer. So they're like, you're a liberal, and I'm like, well, no, not necessarily. And they're like, okay, yeah, sure. And then they skip me, and it's like, I have no reason to lie to you.
Right.
But like, okay, I guess you don't believe me and I'm lying for some reason. But
yeah, people, yeah, especially both sides do it for sure. But on the left,
sure.
you got intersectionality, and it's almost like a cult, like a religious cult at this point.
Oh my gosh, they're literally both just cults.
Right. Oh yeah, totally. There's definitely cult behaviors going on both sides. Yeah, so you probably agree with me. Like my whole thing with the judges is that all you hear about is, oh, you know, Republicans are attacking democracy and attacking our institutions, and yet this is like a direct assault on a very important American institution. You know,
yeah.
If you're protesting at homes of judges, you are intimidating them and you are trying to change their rulings. And if that's now the standard in America, well, you thought there was no system of justice before. Wait till you see what you get after that. Like,
and the thing is, it's like what's really upsetting and that people don't understand that I see is that for me, I believe that a lot of this just comes from a lack of education, in the sense of people are not educated on how to have conversations and how to democratically influence an outcome, you know, in government. And like, using violence and intimidation is one, like, the most what's the word I'm looking for?
It's the most
Old
expedient.
age, like, primitive thing you could do. Like, we have brains, like, we have logic, we have problem solving abilities. It's so primitive to use, like, ooh, I'm gonna scare you. And also it's just so so like pitiful, I guess.
Yeah.
To
Well,
see that,
people,
I'm like,
you know what it is? It's like Twitter and everything else, just people's lives and social media. They get really pissed off all the time, and they just get to a point where they feel like they're on Twitter and they think that's real life, or Instagram, or whatever it is, and they can post their thoughts, but it doesn't necessarily mean anybody's seeing it or any, you know, and they start to feel like that's the only option. We got to just go in there and kill motherfuckers. Like, you see that more and more on both sides. It's
and
crazy.
it's also like, the fact is, I try not to tie myself to a topic unless I'm really well informed, unless I feel like I'm well informed about it, because what's the point of me being so passionate for one side when I don't even know the details of a story? Like, that's really ignorant.
Absolutely.
And everyone feels so passionate about these things, and I try to have these conversations with these people. For example, we'll use Roe v. Wade as an example. Relative, or I guess like parallel to Roe v. Wade, there was just like an abortion. I won't call it a ban. I'll call it a policy change, because no one banned shit. A policy change in Florida, and quite a few of my friends, because, you know, the queer community tends to lean more liberal, were up in flames about this. Like, how dare our governor ban this? And so I told them, well, what specifically about the policy do you not like? Not a single person could tell me what the policy was.
Nope.
These bitches thought that there were no abortions after 2 weeks for anyone, period. And I'm like, that's not the case. You're very severely ill-informed, so much so to the point that you're willing to go to a protest for this and possibly commit a crime if it becomes a riot, and you don't even know what you're rioting for. Which, to me, like, I really don't care. Like, this whole country could go up in flames. As long as my home and property is fine and I can go to the grocery store and get what I want, I really don't care what other people are going to fight for. Same way I'm not joining the army to fight for shit. But just, like, as long as I'm fine, I really don't care.
Right on, man. That's based, man. I like it. I linked you to my Discord, by the way. Everybody in the chat is like, this guy's got to come to Discord. So I decided, like, everybody loves you in chat.
Oh, cool. Thank you, guys. It still just says stranger is typing, so I don't see anything. But if you want to just tell me, I can, like, look it up. Like,
I put it in our chat. Yeah, I put it in our chat there. But yeah, man, I agree with you 100%. It's too bad we can't, you know, more people. It's just both sides are so polarized now, and they're both on the extremes. I would say on the right, though, the extreme fringe is way more ostracized than it is. I know you turn on the news and it doesn't seem that way, but like the left's insanity is like. Let me ask you about this, and let's see what you think. Like, you just brought up like the Florida bill. I asked a question on my YouTube. I put a poll up today and was asking, you know, would you support or you know, what do you think about a straight man, grown man teacher having talks with little girls about their sexuality and talking about, you know, expressing that with, you know, or learning about that with him, and also don't tell your parents about this? Like, what would you think about that? And obviously in the poll, everyone's, you know, overwhelmingly, yeah, that's fucked up, and no, it's not good. But yet that is what's happening, and I'm not sure how widespread it is, but I get on TikTok or not TikTok, I'm sorry, I get on Twitter, and you see all these videos that these teachers put out, and they are saying shit that sounds, you know, it sounds just like that, the scenario I just said. And it's, you know, I'm not against, you know, when they get a little bit older, learning about, you know, gay people, because I don't see anything wrong with, you know, being gay or any of that. And I think they should learn about that stuff. But there's something else completely different going on, it seems. I'm just wondering what you think about that.
Yeah, give me one moment. I'm just trying to write down the questions you asked and what my answers are.
Yeah, and I'm kind of rambling here too, so good luck. Hey, Aircraft Sparky. Yeah, man, if you want to. I thought you were on my side, though, but you're a pretty good debater, and I'm guessing you can probably do both sides. You'll probably destroy me, but hey, man, that's cool. Yeah, if you want to.
Okay,
I have a guy I'm supposed to be
so
debating tonight, but he's not showing up. Anyway.
I have two thoughts about this. The first one is like not necessarily about the question. It was just you said that you felt the right was more ostracized than the left.
Right.
Just quick thought on that. I feel like the right is more ostracized for their beliefs. However, the left is more ostracized just for who they are by the right. Meaning I, as a gay person, have physically been like called a faggot out in public by people who I'm assuming are more conservative, just for being myself. Nothing for what's in my mind or in my heart, just for being myself. I don't find the same thing happens to someone on the right because the identity isn't so much of a problem as is the ideas that they have to liberals.
Well, what if they're gay right people? Like, look
Well,
at how
that's
they get
me,
treated.
and I'm still getting called a faggot, even though I believe half the shit they believe.
Right. Yeah, there's definitely people like that. I mean,
so on the right, I get attacked for who I am as a person. On the left, I get attacked for my ideas more so. It's
Right on.
confusing. But
I gotcha.
regarding the teacher policy, here's the thing with it. What you brought up, regardless of what the teacher's sexuality is predatory behavior towards a child. So I don't think the person should be punished for having talks about being gay or queer or whatever to a child. The person should be punished regardless of the two genders they're discussing for predatory sexual behavior towards a child.
Yeah.
So like I don't really understand why a whole new bill has to be like added to that when like if you're talking about sex to a 5-year-old, you're talking about sex to a 5-year-old. I don't care if you're a man or a woman or like a man talking about women or a man talking about a man. Like that's just weird. Don't talk about sexual things to my children.
Exactly.
And so where I find there's a problem with that to queer people is the questions that naturally come up because queerness is kind of shunned in certain areas. And what I mean by that is if there was a straight teacher and a kid came up and saw a picture on their desk and said, "Who's that other person?" and they said, "That's my husband or wife," the kid knows what that means. However, if I'm a teacher and I have a picture of my partner and the kid says, "Who is that?" and I say, "That's my partner," the next question naturally for a young child will be, what does that mean? Now, there's nothing sexual about this conversation. For me personally, if this was me, I would say what that means is the same way that a lot of people have a mom or a mom and a dad. Some people have a mom and a mom or a dad and a dad. And so if I ever had kids, they would be like that. Like that would be the extent of it. However, it's like, I don't know. But what I'm getting to is that to some people, that already is sexual behavior that is queer, and therefore I'm at risk of losing my job for explaining the same thing that a straight person would not be at risk of losing their job for. And that's where I find there's a problem with these things, is because if I was a teacher, my teaching style would be casually including queerness in conversation. And what that means is maybe not even bringing it up, but on a poster, there's a mom and a dad on this one, and there's what seems to be two dads on this poster. And that's, just making it feel normal for kids who that is their normal. So I don't understand why the conversation is, why are these queer people talking about queer shit to my kids? The conversation should be, why are there so many people talking about sex to kids, period? We need to just remove the conversation of sex. So it feels ostracized towards queer people, when the truth is there's maybe not just as many, but there are also straight men and women with having predatory behavior towards students. And so like, it just seems, I guess, queer phobic in the sense that it's not just queer people doing this. You're insinuating that queer people are the only predators when that's not true.
Exactly. That's exactly why I did that thing where I like made it a straight male doing it, because that does happen, and we do hear about that, and it's a crime. So I'm just like, I'm right with you. Yeah,
people aren't even as outraged when that happens. Sometimes when it's a female teacher and a 15-year-old high school male, it's attaboy, go get her, that's a player, whatever. you know. But if that were to be a male gym coach with a male gym student, please, there would be people threatening his life online.
Oh yeah, for sure. And
like, what I would just like to see is like, maybe just don't talk about sexual shit to a 5-year-old. Period. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it doesn't belong there. I think that's the whole point. I think that's obviously there are, you know, people out there who are not very nice and they got their own problems and they you know what I mean. But I think most people are probably where we're at, you know, and it's just like, let's just not talk about it in class, because at that age, that's not like, anybody who has kids knows that kids at that age, they may like, there's stuff that they say and do and question, but they're not like, that's not their lives. Sex is not what they're
because
thinking about.
For me, my experience in childhood was, even though I didn't know I was gay from a young age, because gayness has to do with it has a sexual connotation because it's about who you have sex with. But I knew I was different in the sense that I was flamboyant. I was all the characteristics that come with being gay outside of sexual interaction. I was already experiencing, but because I grew up at a time and in a place where that was not visible to me, I felt different. Or not even different, because every child is different in their own way. I felt like my difference was wrong. And so to normalize, you know, just that like some boys are flamboyant. Like, I would never see, like, I think it's fine to like degender things in the sense of like, toys are not for one gender or the other. It's a fucking piece of plastic at the end of the day. You can melt the doll down and turn it into a truck, or vice versa.
Right.
So things like that, I think, are completely fine in the classroom up to like the first year of school. Is removing gender norms in that way, where you make feminine boys feel bad for playing with dolls or wanting to play with girls, etc. But yeah, there was like a whole bunch of outrage because there was one of those fun little Instagram posts that was meant to be shared all over the place with like a catching headline and like, swipe left to see the details and where you can donate. And it was because a teacher got fired for coming out to her students, like, we'll put it that way. And everyone was so upset because it's like, oh, great, now I can't be lesbian and tell my kids that. That's not what happened, because the thing is, the teacher came out as pansexual. And to describe pansexuality, you inherently need to describe the type of people you have sex with.
Right.
Because I'm sure the teacher didn't leave it at, what that means is I'm fine marrying anyone as long as they love me. I highly doubt that's what the teacher said. If that's what they said, I'd be furious if they were fired, because again, male or straight teachers talk about their spouses all the time, you know. But I have a feeling that the teacher, you know, I'm talking hypothetically because I don't know the details, but I don't understand why someone would get outraged. Like, I didn't go ahead and post that because I don't know the details, but so many people are willing to just re-click, oh my gosh, next is conversion therapy.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't like just off the cuff get outraged about it, but like when you start getting into pansexual and like there's all kinds of these like just weird made up things that they come up with like every single day. Like, I just saw a thing where they're talking about like cake gender and stuff.
Oh my gosh, I saw that. I highly disagree with neopronouns because they no longer
like, there's no meaning. It's just
there's no meaning of it. You're essentially I have this thought often that like the younger generation has shifted pronouns to no longer describe your sex, but just to describe your personality.
Like, yeah, exactly.
And
it's just like,
so instead of like, in my generation, we would wear t-shirts with the shows we liked, display our personality using graphic t-shirts or whatever it may be. They use pronouns, which, like, I don't really care. I'm not going to call you cake gender, but I'm also just going to call you, like, the people I'm like beyond that generation. Like, I don't fuck with people who have that mindset. But I do think, like, with the whole trans conversation, I would just like to ask you first, like, what is your opinion on the trans pronoun conversation.
Well, the pronouns and stuff, like, I definitely see where you're coming from, and I agree with you as far as like how they're using the pronouns. But I think there might be, maybe this is just my conspiratorial mind, but there seems to be something more nefarious about all of that, just because you see that same kind of like word manipulation all throughout our society now, like everywhere. And it's not just, and not just that, but like more control of speech and things like that. So I feel like there's something more dark happening there. But as far as when it comes to like just trans people in general, like I have no problem with trans people at all. Like, if they want to do that, then fine. It doesn't bother me. I do have a problem with like, stopping kids' natural biological processes based
absolutely.
on whims, and stuff like that. I think that's insane. I think
and for someone to like, again, it really all just comes down to being ill-informed. It's not misinformation or disinformation. It's just lack of information. It is child abuse to biologically change your child without their consent at 13. It is child abuse.
Well, even with their consent. I mean, I'm sorry, like it's too young to make a decision.
I mean, with that, I don't know. I
know they say like, oh, you have to do it early and all this, but
I will say it this way. I'm fine with it at a young age if the trans community allowed science to validate transness. But they don't. That's the problem. The trans conversation, because 5 years ago, the trans community, maybe there's a lack of a better word here, but was a lot more conservative than it was now, in the sense of, to be trans, you need to have, to a degree, like to achieve full transition, you needed to have been diagnosed with gender dysphoria by a medical professional, and you needed to have a desire to transition physically to the other gender. Nowadays, the trans community, certain members of the trans community, because it's not a monolith, but a lot of members say, no, you don't have to want to scientifically or biologically transition in any form or fashion to be trans. It can solely be an internal feeling that you do not identify with the gender that you were prescribed at birth. And my problem with that is what's happening is now the kids who actually have gender dysphoria and are born in a time where they could have access to transitional tools at a young age are now kind of being, it's like the boy who cried wolf, because we have 5 other kids for that one child who want to transition because they want to wear a dress.
Right.
As a gay young child, I wanted to wear a dress. Does not mean I want to physically alter my body to be a female.
Exactly. I mean, that's a pretty huge major change. Right?
So if the trans community would allow science to validate them in the way that they need to kind of be approved as trans by science to have these changes, then I think the conservative community would maybe be a little more okay with the kids who are transitioning at such a young age, because it is true that there are children who are born and before they can speak, they innately know that they want to be the other gender or something's wrong, which is gender dysphoria. That's when you look at your body and you have like a physical sense of disgust and I don't know the words, but I guess as a symptom, you have other mental issues such as depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, because of the physical disgust caused by some type of imbalance in your brain. And those children can't get the help they need because we have so many other children who just want to transition for the sake of transitioning. Right. So I'm personally not against just 100% like blanket transitioning young children, but I would maybe, for me personally, I would not transition my child. I would tell them there's many other ways that you can present I know I have plenty of friends who are trans, and even though they don't have bottom surgery, they are passing, which means society does not clock them as the gender they were born. I have plenty of friends who are like that. And so that is possible to achieve without any type of invasive surgery. You know, they've probably had like Botox or a few like fillers or lifts here and there, but that dissolves and, you know, whatever. So I would let my child, if he was born male and wanted to transition, you know, I don't care if they outwardly present as female, wear a bra, grow out their hair, add acrylic nails, whatever. But I would say the same way my parents told me, you can't get a tattoo until you're 18. You know, just don't change your genitalia until you're 18.
Right. And let me get your thoughts on this. Like, so again, like, I don't have any problem with trans people, and I like that you say that they have gender dysphoria, which, you know, I don't think it's any longer considered, like, I forget what the document's called. You probably know what I'm talking about. I don't think it's any longer considered, or it's labeled gender dysphoria as a mental condition or a mental disorder. I don't think it is anymore. Just recently, like very recently. But I mean, it clearly is. And here's my issue. I think, first of all, that it's weird that this number of trans people keeps like growing and growing. That's kind of odd to me. And people say it's just because it's acceptance, but there's got to be something else going on there. Like, there's got to be, like, the freaking frogs turning gay. You know, like, is it chemicals? Like, what's going on there? But
can I tell you my theory on this?
Well,
why
real
I think
quick,
that's happening.
Yeah. Well, hold on. You just right after this. So I see these people as victims of something. I have no ill will for them, and I feel like, you know, when they're adults, whatever you want to do to make yourself feel better, fine. First of all, don't expect me, though. You know, if we're friends and stuff, maybe I'll play along, but mostly I'm probably not going to, and there's a reason why. Because have you ever seen Star Trek: The Next Generation?
Haven't seen a single Star Trek.
Right, and I always use this because it's like the perfect example of what I'm trying to, the idea I'm trying to get across. But there's an episode where Captain Picard, who's the captain of the Starship Enterprise, he gets kidnapped by these aliens. They torture him, and while they're torturing him, there's these 4 lights shining down on him, right? And the bad guy aliens got this device that he can shock, you know, Picard with and make him feel a lot of pain. So he shines these lights on him, and he's like, how many lights do you see? And anytime he says 4 lights, he shocks him, and he's like, and he keeps fighting back. He's like, I'm not gonna say there's 5 lights. He's like, there's 5 lights. I'm gonna shock you. Say there's 5 lights. And the whole idea, obviously, is to break
operant
him.
Conditioning.
Right. You break him, and then he'll pretty much believe it. And I feel like, maybe I'm just being too. I feel like there's some version of that going on in our society with this. It's not just this. It's like there's all these examples where they want us to just deny and ignore objective reality and play along. And if you don't play along, well, they're not torturing you, but they're going to make you feel pain. They're going to ostracize you. Yes.
You will be socially reprimanded.
There's like a punishment for that thought. And it really makes me think that they're being used almost. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Like, as a queer person, plenty of times. So here's my theory, and unfortunately, sorry to break it to you, it's a lot more simple than that. Like, there's no deep. Well,
I'm not saying to trans. I'm saying they're being used by powers for that purpose. But yeah, go ahead.
So here's my theory. The current trans conversation has shifted. 5 years ago, there was one definition of trans, and that meant you want to physically transition to the other gender to as much of a degree as possible / is comfortable for your life. But there has to be X amount of change to be considered trans. Now, what I think has happened is it ultimately boils down to the fact that trans has developed 2 definitions instead of 1. That's what I think it comes down to. The first definition is the original definition, which is, we'll call it biologically trans. And what that means is you have gender dysphoria, you want to change yourself physically, there is a biological imbalance where you feel like you were born in the wrong body. You know, call it I would call it a medical disorder. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with that, the same way there's nothing wrong with being autistic or having dyslexia. Now, the other definition, which has arisen in recent years, is what we'll call socially trans. So there's biologically trans and there's socially trans. And what socially trans means is there's the biological definition of man and woman, but in Western society, there's a lot more to man and woman than the biological differences. And those are the social roles that man and woman play in Western society. In our culture, men are, not forced, but men are expected to perform certain roles, behave certain ways, you know, whatever it may be, and women are expected to perform certain roles and behave in certain ways. And so what I mean by socially trans is that a lot of these people who identify as trans now, I'll call them socially trans, and that means I'm not transitioning my physical body from one to another, but what I'm doing is I'm transitioning the role that society expects me to play because of my gender. So me, for example, I could very easily identify as socially trans because I don't play, just by how you see me, I don't play the role that Western society expects me to play, having been born male. I have long acrylic nails, I wear makeup, I'm gay, I'm wearing a crop top right now. That's not what society allows me to do as a man. In the same way queer people or liberals will socially reprimand you for something, society at large will reprimand a man for not playing the man's role. And so all I think it boils down to is that people are using the second definition because they're fed up with trying to fit in a mold that society puts them into simply because of their sex organ, sorry. And they don't mean they're trans in the way that they want to transition their physical body. They mean they're trans in the way that they're saying, I'm transitioning from what society expects a man to do to what society expects a woman to do, or something in between. So with that definition, I choose to call myself just a gay man, but I could call myself non-binary, because what that means is I'm not physically transitioning from man to woman, but I'm socially choosing to play the other role instead of what society expects me to do. So that's really what I think it boils down to, is there's so many queer people who are sick of having to play the role of a man. Like, we'll take gay men, for example. Being gay, there's a lot of other things that come with it other than having a sexual attraction to another male. And what I mean by that is, in Western society, oftentimes gay people are more attracted to a lot of the things that women have access to than men, like dolls and feminine clothing and makeup and dancing a certain way. That has not been allowed. So now what we're saying is we're transitioning socially. I want to be somewhere in between, or I want to play the role of the other gender, not the one that I was forced to do because of my penis.
Yeah, I could. It's weird. Like that's not weird. I mean, that's completely understandable. And I do get that. And it'll take time, I think, but eventually society will shift around that. But I think it's just people feel like they're being forced to sort of, like I said, play along. And that's not the case for gay people.
The whole problem is that no one is separating these two concepts.
Right. I think the way that you put it is pretty brilliant.
Conservatives think that trans means like you don't want to have the other body part, but you're also like trying to be like, they should have two different words, but they don't. And that's where the problem, it's really just a problem of lack of verbiage, or, you know, words to describe all these complex concepts.
Yeah. There needs to be, and the discussion that we get mostly is like not at all complex enough. Somebody in chat said, they said, tell him chat is all trans now. He did good.
Yeah, like that's why I say, like, I choose to identify as a gay man, but like with the definition that society uses as non-binary, I could call myself non-binary. It's just too much work to do so.
Yeah, and it's like, why bother? Like, why does it even need a label? Like, people just have different personalities, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it really is. But
it's really just personalities.
Yeah, I mean, it's what it seems like, and I think people would have a lot better, easier time getting along. Maybe they don't want us getting along, but hey, I got to move on because I'm going to be debating it. But like, everyone really likes you, and they want you to come to Discord. And if you want to continue the conversation, my dude is in there, so I do have to. But if you want to come and do it another time or whatever, you're welcome.
If you don't mind, can you drop the Discord link one more time? All I have from you is the YouTube link.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, man,
and
anytime.
I'll check it out.
All right.
Thanks for the conversation. It's been really great, actually.
Yeah, man. Have a great night.
You too.
All right. I think he's here, guys. It is time. Let's get ready to rumble. No, I'm just kidding. All right. There we go. What's up, man?
They were being very interesting. Damn.
Oh, what's happening? Why did they drag you out? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why did they
Fuck.
Are you guys dragging him out?
right answer is to
Well, y'all are playing tug of war
basically
with me right now.
No, yeah, I'm in the middle of a live stream. I need him up there. Jesus.
Yeah, that was.
What the hell, man? People dragging you out, like.
Bro, he didn't want to get rid of me. That's what it was.
All right, well, hey, man, welcome.
Sorry, I was trying to turn on my camera and press the wrong button.
Very good. We had around 100 people watching. They'll probably come back, but how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good, bro.
Hey,
I'm all right. I'm a little disappointed in the prospect I was talking about earlier, but it'll be another day. It'll be fine.
Yeah, that's you weren't just playing Call of Duty. Be honest.
No, I was.
Oh, okay. Oh, you were. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was, but I was waiting on.
Oh, you were just waiting on that.
That answer, yeah.
Yeah. Well, booty call didn't turn out. That's the way it goes. Hey, I need to grab another.
Such is life.
Start. 1 second.
All right, man.
Oh shit.
Do you think? Does he have his headphones on? Are they wireless? Oh no, he set them down. Do you think he'd be upset if I like did a bong rip on the stream, like live right now?
All right. Sorry guys. All right, I'm ready for real now. Okay.
Right,
So I don't
what's the
have any
contention?
I don't have any real solid format here, and I don't know how much of a debate it's going to be rather than just a discussion.
Just discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not. This isn't like a Dylan Burns stream with the debates. Everybody's pulling out the studies and links and all that. I don't have the time to get all that together. So
fair. I mean, I only expected to talk 20-30 minutes anyway, and I need to take a shower and
yeah, it was just basically you seemed like an interesting person in the chat, and thought we'd get on and talk about. So let's just start here. I think it's a good starting point. Like, what are your feelings? And I can't remember if we talked about this in chat, but like, what are your feelings on the protests that are going on right now in front of Supreme Court justices' homes?
as long as even that's a little difficult. As long as nobody's getting hurt or threatened, I think it's usually fine. But also that sort of stuff like property damage and like rioting, all that stuff comes out of civil unrest, protesting. It's a part of it. I mean, civil rights had their issues,
Good trouble,
I feel like, yeah, there were some non-violent protests, but there was also several, rowdy ones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you think there's anything maybe a problem with it beyond just violence? And that's the reason I'm asking, because if you look at the media and stuff, there's very little talk. All you're hearing about, oh, it's so peaceful. Don't worry about it. They're all being peaceful. It's good. It's the First Amendment. They're protest. But do you not see an issue with mobs of people showing up to the homes of judges before they make a ruling on a big case or any case?
Nope.
So
I feel like, unless they're deliberately intimidating with threats of violence, but other than that,
well, what is the purpose? So you're at your home, you're hanging out, and a mom shows up out front. That's
don't
not
be a public
intimidating.
figure. Don't be a public figure. Sure, but if you're doing something that can affect everyone's lives, I'm sure that's why the First Amendment is there, right? For protesting, for showing people who control the power, who control the laws, that hey, we're the people. Which, by the way, I'm pretty sure a vast majority of the country agrees with the right for a woman to choose. So that's already settled. We have the data on that.
Well,
we know the majority of the country
No. Well, we can get to that. Let's stay focused here.
Can we?
Real quick. No, we will get to that. We will get to that. The American support for abortion and all that. That's a whole other thing. But I want to stay focused real quick just on people protest, so it's a little murky for me too, because one, if they're on sidewalks, it's public space and they can be on a public space, and
there you go.
They also have the right to protest, obviously, but
as long as they're not trespassing or
right.
people.
But there is a federal law against intimidating judges and protesting at judges' homes, because a mob showing up to a judge's home before a ruling is intimidation. I don't see how you can get around that. you know, imagine a mob of pitchforks and, you know, people show pitchforks outside your house.
That's a little. There's no pitchforks. There's signs. That's not the same. It's not the same threat level.
It's still a mob of people. I mean, that in itself is intimidating. There's security there because it's intimidating.
Good.
Okay, well, how old are you, real quick? I don't mean. I'm 43. I'll just tell you that.
24.
Okay, 24. Okay. So, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're a youngster, so you don't know. I mean,
yeah,
that's obviously true. I mean, you do gain a lot of experience over, 20 years.
Yeah, obviously. But I mean, I know several dumb old people and a lot of intelligent young people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Sure, it's a marker of something, but I don't think it's the end all be all. You should be able to have arguments.
True, but like there's instances like this, and this is why my channel is all about like the media and the danger of the media, and I blame them for this largely, and the Democrats and some Republicans as well. There needs to be a little foresight here. So if we're setting the precedent now that it's okay to show up to a judge's home and protest before that judge makes a ruling, and I'm not even just talking about SCOTUS, I'm talking about any judge on any ruling, whatever it may be. If that's now the precedent, then if the justice system was fucked up before, what do you think it's going to be now?
I don't think this changes anything.
It doesn't change anything. It sets
people
a precedent.
protesting at somebody's house.
So let me tell you let me explain how it sets a precedent. So the media is supporting it, and of course, if the roles were to be reversed, those rules would change. So in that sense, you're right, because the precedent would just go out the window, and they'd be like, oh, this is bad again. So you're probably right there, but still, there is a precedent being set here that it's okay to intimidate judges. I know you're going to say it's not intimidation, but I don't know. I don't know how else you can.
Implicit intimidation.
What's the
point?
I guess, but what's the point of it? Otherwise,
it's not explicit intimidation.
Like, why aren't they just protesting in in their cities or whatever, like they normally would? Why at the homes? Why did Ruth send us
intimidation?
Right,
because if you're protesting, at your fucking local town square or whatever the fuck,
right?
It's not the judge, the people, the small section of people, the very small amount of people relative to the fucking population of the country, is making this decision that will affect millions of people. They can just not watch TV and avoid the protests. If they're there in their face, then they're getting their message across better. I mean, sure, they're at their house, but what's better? Finding where they go on their daily routes and waiting along their daily route to ambush them there. I mean, it's 6 one way, half a dozen another, and they're just getting their message across because those few judges who make this big decision that affect a lot of women, and not many of them or the people on said court.
Well, who decided on Roe versus Wade? Who made that? Who made that the law of the land for 50 years? It was. I
agree that is a very dumb thing. I don't even like how Supreme Court rulings can just make laws like that. I don't think it's a very good system. I don't think it should have even been added.
Well,
I mean, it's not in the Constitution either. So there's that.
Right. Well, they're not making law. They're
they're setting precedents for future decisions based on judicial rulings or whatever. It's.
Well, I mean, I guess you admitted that it's implicit. I mean, so you're admitting that it's you gotta be, at this point.
Implicit intimidation. I mean, yeah, sure. Okay. I mean, I think that's what the idea of a protest is.
So are you into this idea that the right and Republicans are destroying democracy or a threat to democracy and all this, attacking our institutions?
Some, yeah. I mean,
do you see this as an attack on democracy or an attack on institutions? On our institutions?
People protesting at a judge's house?
Well,
is an attack on democracy?
Implicitly intimidating a judge.
The numbers show that a majority of the country is in support of a woman's right to choose.
Well, let's talk about that. So, if you're looking at, I don't really want to jump topics here because I feel like we're just glossing over things on the other one.
This is the same topic. What are we glossing over? What do you want to deep dive further into?
Well, I mean, it is an attack on. Well, here's the thing. For one, if the SCOTUS were to rule on this and they were to rule against Roe v. Wade and repeal it, that would not ban abortion. For one, it would just leave it up to the states.
To vote
for it, which is what.
Federalism.
Well, yeah, it's federalism, but it's democracy. It's, you know, people are voting,
Sure.
And so if a majority
But-
of Americans support it, then they're gonna in the states they're gonna vote.
No, they're
there's
not.
now there's gonna end up being restrictions probably, but I personally don't see abortion being totally banned for one, and I know we don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but first of all, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself, this group Ruth sent us is the one who organized and put the addresses for the judge. Ruth Bader Ginsburg herself was against the Roe v. Wade ruling.
In what way?
It's not even necessarily about like it's about
Wait,
repealing
how
a
is
bad
she
decision.
against it? I don't know anything about that. How is she against it?
Well, she criticized the decision and basically said that at some
In
point
what way, though?
we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to look it up to get it, but she basically said we're gonna have to revisit it, and it's obviously bad. It was a bad decision. It's on shaky ground. Let me look it up here real quick.
I think it should be codified. I think federally protected abortion or sexual reproduction rights should be instated, but I mean,
So I'll tell
we have
you,
fucking Joe Manchin's bitch ass holding that up, like everything else.
Yeah, you don't consider him a maverick then?
I
John
want him
McCain?
to
You're kinda
choke on his food.
Okay. That's kind of how people on the right felt
in
about John
Roblox.
McCain, but
Yeah, I know of John McCain, but yeah, I was a little young.
well, he was a Republican maverick, which meant and a hero, and because he went against his party. But Manchin
He was one
goes
of the
against
cool
his party.
ones.
He's not a hero somehow. It's weird how that works.
I mean, it's not weird. I mean, it's your political ideology. I mean, you kind of root for the things you're trying to push. I don't
Well,
think
right. It's
weird.
not weird for you. I just mean like in general, that's the narrative. Anyway,
I mean, you're just pointing at vague hypocrisy here. but-
Yeah, you're right. It's pointless, but
There you
so the support for abortion. So you do see a majority of support for some sort of right to abortion. It's something like I think 60% versus like 48 or something like that. I don't know, somewhere around there.
For the win, nil. No, in Roblox. I don't want him to die. I want him to die in Roblox.
In Roblox.
Yeah.
People have been coming through your Twitch, and so they're just waiting for you to say something crazy and off the wall. Just say,
Bro, I'll say something crazy right now.
Well, hold on. Let me get through the polling on this, and this is just from memory. And then you get to first trimester, and it goes down a little bit. It's like 50%, and then after that, it plummets. After the first trimester, it's like only 34% support abortion, the right to abortion at that point, and it's way lower after that. It's like 20%. So it's very low. So that's really where this is hinging.
Can you link that?
Yeah, hold on. I got one second. I got it.
No bong rips, please. Whoops. Well, yeah. Would you be upset if I ripped a bong on stream?
Nope.
All right, good.
I'm not ripping a bong, but.
All right. Well, I was like, while you were gone earlier, getting a beer or whatever the fuck you were getting. I was like, would he be upset if I like ripped a bong right now on stream?
Oh, there it is.
And then your homie Keg, bro. He seems all right, but he's
my little brother.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
You kind of no, I'm not gonna say that. Anyway, look in the main chat. I just posted the screen cap I got there from MSNBC when they were talking about it. It's 56% in general support legal abortions, while 43% think it should be illegal. Which I'm not even there. Like I'm in the middle there. I think there's obviously there are reasons for it, but anyway, we'll get to that. First trimester 61%, second 34%.
Well, the big deal here, if we want to get into this abortion thing, I thought we were just talking about the protest.
No, but that's
if we want to
important.
get into abortion
Isn't that
specifically,
important? Isn't that important though? That like
what?
Because the media likes to play it off a lot, and Democrats there's just this wide support for abortion, but it's way murkier. Than
I think there's a widespread support for bodily autonomy. I don't think it's necessarily
really
abortion.
Because we just went through this whole thing where bodily autonomy no longer mattered, and that's a weird thing with the left. It's like that's what I was talking about earlier.
Actually, wait, hold on. Don't do this shit with the COVID shit, bro. Because the way you acted, the things you did could directly affect other people and their grandparents whenever it comes to COVID.
You don't think an abortion affects another person? Oh wait, you don't think it's a person? How convenient.
I mean, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What
does
do I mean?
it directly
affects
affect
another
the
body,
health?
another life.
Does it directly affect another? Oh God. Oh, I mean, this is a philosophical debate. I mean, there's no right answer on this if you think whatever, but they're not having a human experience. They're not like conscious of the fact that they were existing and then
I
not
literally just
existing the
read
next
an
moment.
article. Oh, here it is right here. Or wait. Wait, that's not it. I gotta find it. But they're basically this doctor is saying that babies in the womb masturbate and feel good because it feels good. She's teaching. No, here it is. She's teaching. She's trying to get her 11-year-old students, gave them an assignment to go home and masturbate. Okay, that's the assignment. And then,
that wasn't the assignment. I know what you're talking about.
Hold on.
That was
I
posted
may
in
be
main
getting
chat
things mixed
earlier.
up. I may be getting things mixed up.
First of all, this. Okay, we can get into this because I want to talk about this.
I'm just saying that if a baby can masturbate in the womb and feel good, I mean that's.
Wait,
human
where
experience.
are you getting that though? What is that?
I gotta find that. That's what I was
I
trying
mean,
to tell you. I was just
they react to stimuli, but I think consciousness is the human experience, and you're not conscious, and like you're not.
Well,
actively retaining.
I don't think we know that
information or memory. I mean, we know that.
You don't remember anything until you're like what, 4, 5, 6 years old? You're saying that like?
No, I have conscious memories from whenever I was still in high chairs eating Pop-Tarts. Like,
okay, so up to the point that you're eating in high chairs, you're not a sentient being.
I wouldn't say that, but you're interacting with the outside world. Also, if you want to get into like the viability thing, but like up until a certain point, they're basically just a parasite. You're just removing yourself from that person's body. Have you ever heard the car wreck analogy?
No, go ahead.
All right, so like let's say you get into a car wreck, right? And it's your fault. Whatever happened, it's your fault. Another person's involved. You're both injured, you not as bad, him severely, and this is a hypothetical, so it's like whatever. But like in this hypothetical world, in order to save both of you in the moment, or like to save the other guy in the moment, because you're mostly fine, you're gonna live, but to save the other guy in the moment, a doctor runs up to the scene and like has to like rig you up together. Like he has to use your kidneys for his kidneys, or like your blood for his blood, or something. He has to give up some part of your body in order to save his and keep him alive. Do you think that when you wake up, the government has the right to tell you to stay there because you caused the accident? Like you have to stay there with that person hooked up to him until like something is found that can save his life, or like a kidney transplant, or like whatever the fuck it may be, and it's going to take 9 months. Does the government have the right to keep you there hooked up to that person for 9 months until he can be saved?
I mean, is that a scenario that has happened?
That's why it's called a hypothetical. No, it's not. It has not happened, and it probably won't happen. But in that scenario,
I see what you're getting at. I mean, I see what you're getting at, but I would say no, because there's obviously a lot of like constitutional rights and privacy rights going on there. So no.
Right.
But
okay. Same thing. An accident happened and it's your fault.
Wait.
And there is another person, another thing, another life relying on your body, on your whatever, maybe fluids, nutrients, whatever. And all you're doing is separating yourself from that being. That's it.
But it's a being that was created by your actions.
Okay, and the accident that had you hooked up to that person was created by your actions.
Right.
Was it not?
Right, but
I still don't think the government has the right to tell you to stay hooked up to that person. I don't think they do. And I don't agree with it. Let's get that straight. Let's get this out of the way. Nobody is like, yay, abortion. Let's murder the babies. No. Okay, some people say that, but it's no. Even the people who say that are just doing that to be inflammatory. They just want to get a rise out of you people. That's all it is. Nobody's like, yay, abortions. Okay, nobody. We know it's like a life. It's something that has living cells, and you're getting rid of it. Like it's no longer living. We understand that. I don't think anybody's like, get as many abortions as you can. Like I don't think, maybe somebody's mentally ill out there and is that way, but like it's not a thing. It's about having the ability to do it when necessary, and also preventing them when possible, because we already know, we have the stats. Whenever you make abortions illegal, even at a certain point, all that does is creates a problem where women are needing
Right. That's why it's
abortions
not
and they
gonna
have
happen.
nowhere to get to,
Right.
and they do it themselves, and that causes harm to
Well,
them and the baby, and that's
I mean, I agree, and
that's
that's
a whole
why
other
I,
thing.
Right. I mean, that's why I didn't want to debate this, because I probably break from a lot of conservatives and stuff on that, because
Hold on. I'm sorry. Melba Toast. There are feminists who celebrate abortions. Celebrate the right to have an abortion, to have the choice to be able to do with, what you want with your body. Not, they don't celebrate, they're not like, oh, you got an abortion. Yay, let's throw a party. Like, that's not.
All right. Well, I don't know. They're kind of that's a sidetrack anyway. Like, here's the thing. Like, I don't like this kind of beating around the bush about what's actually occurring. That's one thing that makes me think there's something wrong about it. You understand what I'm saying?
That sounds conspiratorial.
No,
What's
no.
actually occurring?
No. It's not conspiratorial. It's when somebody's lying to me, or they're trying to like reword things to deceive me in some way, I start thinking it's because they're covering up something wrong. You see what I mean? Like this push to like, it's not a human, it's just a fetus, or it's just a clump of cells, it's not a person, and all that.
I mean, I didn't
like,
say it's a human. It's a
it's
baby
and
human.
it's not killing.
But
It's health. It's women's health care, or it's reproductive health, and these kind of things. I'm like, no, you're just killing it. You're like dissecting it and killing it.
I mean, you are.
Like,
you
let's
are
be honest
killing
about what it is,
like,
because when you're not honest.
Hold on. How was I not honest? What did I say that was dishonest?
Not you. I'm saying that like the pro-abortion movement. There's a lot of that, and it's like that like on its own makes me like.
Okay, well, we get you're big brained, okay? We know. But like the average normie isn't gonna be receptive to like, yeah, we're killing the babies, but it's important because it leads to nobody's gonna respond to that. It's better to be like, it is better sometimes to beat around the bush optically and be like, it's not killing, it's like a health option. We kind of need it, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's where the beating around the bush comes from.
Right, but I think there's other reasons that maybe we're not completely privy to, because we're not the ones running the country and the world. There may be other reasons.
You think it's like malicious intent that they're trying to soften the sound of abortion?
So here's the thing. I think part of the whole like drive to like cover up what's actually going on, it's not good for society to do that. Like, I think that by being honest about it,
this is so conspiratorial.
Listen, no, it's not. Listen,
wait, what's being covered up?
Will you shut up for a second and let me talk?
No, you're like jumping. We're jumping sections. What's being covered up? We haven't established that.
I'm trying to explain to you why it's important. I'm trying to get you to understand that.
Wait, but
because our society, if we were honest about what's actually happening, people might be much less.
Okay, what's actually
promiscuous?
Happening?
Might be more responsible. Because they're like, damn it, I don't want to get pregnant because then I'd be ending a human life. Instead, we're like trying to convince people it's not a human life. That's weird to me. And I think it's not good for society. And I think that there's probably ulterior motives at play there, like coming down from the powers that be or whatever. Because there is Planned Parenthood was started by Margaret Sanger, who wanted to depopulate black people.
And she's a bad person, but started something amazing.
But where are all the Planned Parenthoods? They're in all the low-income neighborhoods. They're in all the black neighborhoods.
Because that's who
black people have the most abortions.
That's who needs abortion the most, because they have the less access to good education and good contraceptives and birth control and doctors.
See, here's the thing. That's everything you just said is a bunch of rationalizations. Like, good people come out of hard lives and strife, and you know what they do?
What does that mean?
Well,
you're just making philosophical, like broad philosophical claims. Yeah, sure.
No,
whatever,
I'm saying that human beings deserve a chance to live, and for you to be like, oh, they don't deserve to live because they're gonna live in poverty and it's gonna be rough. That's fucked up.
I didn't say that.
That's like a fucked up rationalization for it.
Did I say that? Did I say they didn't deserve to live?
You're saying that they shouldn't live. That they shouldn't live.
I mean, wait. So you're advocating for people to struggle? That's what you want?
Yes, absolutely. We all struggle. Everybody struggles. Struggle is
that a good thing?
Struggling, absolutely. I think. Yeah.
I mean, psychology would disagree.
Let me ask you this. Who do you think make better people? People who have grown up struggling, or people who grew up with everything handed to them?
I don't think either one of those make it fuck to what kind of. I've known people who grew up struggling who are shitty people, and I know people who
that's true
grew up with a silver spoon who are amazing people. So
absolutely.
You're drawing up a dichotomy that doesn't exist.
Well, I disagree. I think growing up struggling,
that's
you
fine.
learn about adversity. You learn how to deal with tough situations. It makes you stronger and more hardened to difficulties in life and more
I feel
able
like
to deal
life
with them.
is hard enough as it is without having a struggle with an economic struggle or a social struggle due to like whatever racism or homophobia, whatever you have to
Dude,
deal
I mean,
with.
it's all relative. I mean, somebody who grows up poor doesn't necessarily suffer like every day. I mean, they may have less and stuff, but they are used to that, and maybe. And I'm not saying that like they're
used to that. That makes it okay.
No, I'm not
Great.
saying it makes
That's
it
good.
okay,
Good
but
stuff.
like
it's
I'd
good
also
to go hungry a couple days out of the week. It makes you strong. Makes you strong. You should starve 2 days out of the week.
Well, right now, American babies are starving because there's no fucking formula, and the government instead of getting it out to American babies, are taking the supply and feeding it to illegal immigrant babies.
Is that what's happening?
It is actually.
Show me.
And you know what?
That's why there's
you know what the new press secretary said?
Did they use
in response to
millions?
it? You know what she said? She said,
They
"Oh,
used
maybe you should just
million.
call your pediatrician." That was her response. But anyway, that's a sidetrack.
What was the question? Yeah, this is a sidetrack. We're gish galloping now.
Yeah, we are gish galloping a bit on that.
Dude, you are pissing me off. Why are you pissed off, bro? What's your contention? Chat's mad. I hate this kid. Rude.
It's just when you say that, like, it's not true. Like, I don't want like poor people to suffer or anything. Like, there's so many like food pantries and like donations for that stuff at this point. Like, if you're going
It
hungry,
doesn't fix societal
something's
issues.
going wrong.
It
Something
doesn't
is going
fix societal
seriously
issues.
wrong. No, it doesn't.
That
But
happens
like,
a lot. We actually have an extreme amount of not like hunger, not like starvation, but food insecurity in this country. There's a lot of it. A lot of it for being like one of the richest nations in the world. A lot of food insecurity.
there is too much.
And it's really bad. And food pantries do not help it. Charity does not help it. It doesn't fix societal issues. It's not going to. It never will. It never works. That's why we're like
well, I mean, we've always had societal
38
issues
in the
that
world
evolve and change and get better. I mean,
but some countries handle them a lot better than us. That's
Well-
why our quality of life index is so low.
I don't know how much I buy into the quality of life index because it's such a subjective thing anyway.
All
It's like,
these things perfectly align with each other. It's like it's almost perfectly aligned in the ranking of quality of life with the ranking of income mobility, with the ranking of education, with the like all these rankings are there. All these statistics are there. Like we have all the information from these other countries, and the rankings like show up. Like they all kind of flow together.
I'm getting. What is this in reference to now that we're talking about this? What is this branching off of?
I'm just saying there's societal issues that lead to poverty, that lead to food insecurity, and it's because of
Man.
all these issues that conservatives don't want to fix.
No,
Education,
that's not true. I mean, conservatives are the most charitable, giving. Like they give up the most time, money, everything.
I mean, that's. I don't think you have data for that, but sure,
I do.
if you say so.
I
but
do
also,
actually. I'll
charity
get it.
doesn't fix sociological issues. It doesn't. It's never been proven to do so. You can charity's good. I'm not saying don't do charity. It's just not gonna fix poverty. It's just not gonna fix hunger. It's not gonna fix food insecurity in this country because that's what we've been trying to do for a long time now, and it's not solving the issue. It doesn't. Never does.
Well, I mean, we're solving it pretty good, not perfectly, but better than a lot of countries. I mean, a lot of people say
better than a lot of countries is not a good standard. There's plenty of countries better than us with a lot less hungry kids.
Well, that's a lot. That's real black and white because a lot of these countries you're talking about benefit a lot from America and the money we spend on medical innovation and military defense, which they don't have to spend because they depend on us for that protection and for those innovations. And so
our companies do that.
Right.
We have a lot of companies, and we're a rich country, so
There's a lot
that's
of
going to happen. But that doesn't mean our
in America.
social systems are set up as well as these other countries.
Right.
And every country relies on every country. That's not a.
Well, that's not. If you look at like medical innovations, the difference between America and the rest of the world is just like very stark. It's same thing with military defense. Nobody spends anything. We spend everything. A lot of these countries, they're able to have
because we spend
these
a lot of
systems.
money on those things.
Right, and they don't have to. That's money they don't have to spend. It's this weird thing where like they have this extra money to spend on these social systems because they don't have to spend on that because they rely on us for it. So like if we went, like let's say we stopped spending on
spend money on military upgrade. I mean, we have a better
going on with
military
Russia
than
and
the
Ukraine
next
right now.
like
Absolutely.
12 country combined. And wait, what does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China?
Well,
what the fuck?
because you just asked, do we really have to spend that much on?
Who's invading the U.S.? If there's ever a war with superpowers, it would be with nukes. Like what? Like there's not gonna be boot. This isn't fucking COD 4. Like there's not gonna be boots on the ground between two superpower countries. They're only doing this because Ukraine doesn't have the power to stop them. And if any other country gets involved, there will be nukes involved. Like no.
Well, we're involved.
It's not
Nukes
analogous.
aren't flying yet, and I agree with you mostly. I mean, I think
involved with boots on the ground.
I mean, we have boots on the ground training. Maybe not in Ukraine, probably in Ukraine.
Come on, bro. Come on,
borders,
bro.
Absolutely.
Come on, bro.
They're out there bragging every day about.
Come on, bro.
No, listen. Hold on, stop. They just.
Do we have boots on the ground in Ukraine?
The Secretary of Defense, Blinken, just said that he said that we are at war on two fronts. We're at war with, or maybe it was Biden. We're at war with inflation. It was Biden. He said we're at war with inflation and we're at war in Ukraine.
Yeah, like an economic war, a war of resources, where we don't have boots on the ground in Ukraine. Do we have boots? Do we have boots on the ground in Ukraine?
I mean,
do we have people fighting
we don't have a large
in
military
Ukraine?
Deployment, but you're talking about the nukes flying.
Why are you being deliberately dishonest? This is so easy. Just say no.
I can't say that. I'm not saying we have large because, for one, we have neither of us know that, man. Come on. You don't think that there's some?
I'm
you don't
pretty
think
sure
there's some
if we had. If we had a battalion of people on the ground in Ukraine fighting Russian soldiers, you think Putin would just not care? Like he wouldn't mention it. He would just be like, "Oh, that's cool."
Look, here's the thing, and I mostly agree with you on the nuke war thing. All right, but we're way off the reservation here. I don't even know what the hell we're talking about at this point. What else did we have lined up here? Oh, yeah. Something I wanted to talk about, just because I find it interesting.
Stop trying to control the conversation and being an asshole kid. Damn. All right. Well.
Whatever. Yeah. I mean, they're being.
I'm sorry. I have so much to say. All right. What was the other thing?
Just something interesting I find in general, because I kind of had this growing up myself, and you're around the age that I started actually questioning what I was believing.
I just started masturbating. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How'd you know?
Late bloomer, you know.
So I think we met because it was like some white race related thing. I can't even remember, but someone found a clip. Someone found a clip of you like, oh, fuck that guy, he's a white guy or something. You may have been, that might have been out of context. You might have been joking, but I just found it interesting.
I was actually very angry in the moment, but I couldn't think of the actual response. I shouldn't have been because I don't like white racism either. I think it's toxic and doesn't help anti-racist causes. I was just super pissed at this fucking Canadian asshole dude. It just pissed me off. The game pissed me off or whatever. And so I should have said, talking shit about Canadians isn't racist because Canadians aren't a race. That's what I should have said. But in the moment, I was like, fuck it. He's a white guy. Who cares?
I forget how we came to start talking. There was something race related. You seem to agree. I think we eventually. So everybody out there watching right now who hates him and thinks he's the same person, he actually is kind of rational on that, because we did have it out a little bit about the anti-white racism and the self-hatred.
I've lost so many friends, so many leftist friends, because I refuse to be black people can't be racist. It's bigotry. I fucking.
Good.
It's so goddamn
you're not
stupid.
Totally lost, then. Good for you.
It doesn't provide any help at all. We already have a word that describes systemic racism. If you want to use that, you don't have to change the definition of general interpersonal racism to systemic racism for your fucking woke ideology bullshit. I can't stand it. I also can't stand the word woke when people use it unironically. Hate that shit. Freudian slip. Wait, what?
I don't know who this person's talking about. Probably me. I gotta go. This guy is looking for openings, but too stupid to get anything. I think he's talking about me. Hey, you're not wrong. I had to mow a giant lawn today, watch 3 kids, and now I'm drinking beers, so I'm not the sharpest at the moment. Yeah.
I seem to base all my arguments on emotion. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna make this a little bit more interesting now, because I am running out of gas here. No offense. You showed up kind of late. and I already
I
already
I'm sorry.
spent a lot of my energy on Omegle or however the fuck you say that. Omegle
I
or
didn't.
Omegle.
To be honest, to be perfectly honest, I got home at around what it would have been like, around 9:15ish your time, and immediately like hopped on the game with my friend, my roommate, and our other friend, and I was texting my ex, and that stuff came up or whatever, and it was a whole thing. So I was like, oh, if this happens, I cannot I don't give a fuck about this debate. We can reschedule this, and
let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you before we do this, but I'm gonna throw you to the wolves if you want to do it.
Go ahead.
Not the
Go
wolves.
for it.
It's really just a couple guys, and actually, it's right wing death squad will probably be an aircraft Sparky, but it's pretty cool. You're cool with it?
Go ahead.
All right, let's do it.
Hey,
All right,
Pappy?
guys, hold on. I brought our friend in here. Where is he?
Oh, Drone Tech.
What's up, Darth Jacob? Hey, I brought our guy in here. ObsceneDougie.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we were just getting into it too.
I thought I'd bring you guys. I thought I'd bring him in here and we'd all could chat. He was up for coming in with all these guys.
Sure, why not?
Darth Jacob, what's up, buddy? I haven't seen you in a while, man.
My dude.
Good to see you, buddy.
My guy, bro. My dude. What's up?
I can't hear you, Darth Jacob. I can't hear you. You know Darth? Obscene?
Sorry, it is 1:22 p.m. in Australia, Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is after our date
Oh no.
time. Well, it's night time in your section.
It's a hillbilly British person.
Dude, he's been with me forever, man. He like one of my first live streams, I think I met him.
Damn. That's a true ride or die.
I'm more of a commentator on certain themes and just getting involved for the sake of it.
Hey, and we got Aircraft Sparky here. My brother, Kay, you got a camera, man. Congrats. We got Riddle here and Right Wing Death Squad. Aircraft Sparky, ObsceneDougie. I'll tell you right now, he is a sharp one for sure. I know you don't like Robert Noir, but he and Robert Noir, I think, are like
he
two
looks
of the best.
like him.
I think he and Robert are like two of the best
No,
debaters
bro,
on the right.
don't
honestly,
say that, bro. Lecture Fan is better than Robert Noir, and Lecture Fan's ass.
Oh,
bro, you know who I love though? Do y'all like counterpoints?
Counterpoints is all right.
Connor's a
love
little bit too
counterpoints.
much of a fence sitter.
Makes sense. Yeah, go ahead.
I agree, but I'm a leftist, so.
So you guys, we can y'all can jump in, ask questions or whatever, but let's go one at a time and not make it like a big shouting match.
Absolutely.
All right, so what is it you guys talked about?
I have to go run to the. I'll be right back.
So do I. I gotta take a piss too.
He's breaking the seal.
That's all good.
I would like to ask a position of Sir Dougie.
God damn, dude.
Sparky was making some good points though, and I do kind of agree with it. It's like, you know what you guys.
Oh, don't say that, man. That'll get you canceled.
I don't give a shit.
Bro, are you from Dallas? Are you from Dallas?
No.
Good. All right. Is that a fucking cowboy shirt?
The fuck does it matter?
Oh, it's not.
No.
Oh, okay.
He's wearing an SD hat. That would not fly. That's like a painting a target on your head in Dallas.
If anything,
and by the way, I live in Oklahoma City, so.
Yeah, if anything, I would say it's like San Diego.
Oh, what is it actually?
I live in the most based state in America.
Ooh. My friend used to tell me this joke. It was the funniest shit I've ever heard, actually, because of how wrong it is. You know, because Oklahoma is like terrible. But
how's that? Have you been there?
I've been there a couple times. It's like
cool.
a
Where are you
bunch
from?
of windmills. Texas.
Texas. What part?
Right now, I'm in Fort Worth, but I'm from Houston.
Awesome. So we're like 2 hours apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he used to tell me this joke, and it was why is Oklahoma so windy?
Because Texas sucks.
Because Texas sucks. It's the dumbest shit ever. Because like,
well, if
Texas
you understand air
fucking
pressure, it actually makes
incredible.
sense.
Well, okay, scientifically, sure, but
well, I mean, technically, right is the most
way is the
But
best
it's
way
a
to be
dunk
correct,
on
right?
Texas. But it's a dunk
Well,
on Texas, and Texas is amazing. Texas is incredible.
Texas is dead. It just hasn't stopped kicking yet.
It's not. It's literally one of the fastest growing states right now, with two of the fastest growing cities in the country.
It's going.
And as soon as we firebomb Austin,
swarmed.
that'll be taken care
It's
of.
well, no, it's the whole triangle is
Wait,
the whole triangle is going to pieces. It's being swarmed by Californians. They're bringing in their Californians. The only CPUSA person I ever met was actually in Texas, and I realized it was time to get the fuck out. When I asked him, I was like, "Yo, I took an oath to defend my nation, the Constitution, and its people from all enemies, foreign and domestic. Can you give me one reason other than it's morally wrong why I should not slay you where you stand?" And everybody else is like, "Whoa, dude, that's too far." Just like, no, that's me holding true to the oath.
And weird.
It's not LARPy.
Yeah, super larpy. What are you fucking?
Yeah, well, the problem-
SEAL Team
the
6?
problem-
What are you?
How can
I'll
you
murder you right now.
How can you say that to someone who has served? That is incredibly egregious.
That's
Right.
very much obvious.
I mean,
it means nothing. What is that supposed to mean to me? I'm not nationalistic. I don't know. Like, it's a border. I was born in.
You're from a different time, or we are from a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were brainwashed to like worship the country.
No,
you
we don't
were,
worship the
You were
country.
saying the pledge every morning. You were like,
No,
this is my greatest duty as a citizen.
Well, I can tell
Pledge
you
allegiance to the empire.
That's because you don't know anything of honor and duty.
In feudal Japan.
No,
What is
I
it?
got
Bro,
a
stop.
better,
Yeah, it's
I got a
so
better way to
cringy.
attack this one.
Yeah,
a
it's
better way to
cringy, but
attack this.
it's the fucking
Obscene.
truth.
Oh,
Whatever.
no. Obscene. I have one question for you.
What's up?
Where have you been? Have you been outside the United States?
No.
Do you understand what freedoms you have that no one else in the world has?
No one else in the world? Name one. We have the most prisoners in the world. That's what we have.
Oh, okay,
Name
yeah.
a freedom that we have that nowhere else has.
We also have some. Hold on. We also have some of the most
I'm waiting.
largest populations.
Hold
in
on,
the world,
stop.
As
Answer
far
my
as the
question.
country goes. What was your fucking question?
The third most. I asked you what freedoms do we have that nowhere else has?
We actually have freedom of speech, which does not exist in any other country.
Yeah, I can speak for that as an Australian. We don't have freedom of speech in the Constitution. Only freedom of political communication.
Darn Jacob, you guys are getting beaten up and pepper sprayed and shit, aren't you?
Yeah, I've seen those videos. It's like the way how the police done is just
speech. That's
stupid.
crazy.
Face palming babies into the concrete.
Yeah, did you know that? Did you know that?
Been all over the world, man.
Did you know
we
that,
weren't even
Dougie?
the first ones to have freedom of speech.
No. You know
the
that
Magna Carta gives you freedom of speech. What?
The Magna Carta gives some freedom of speech. In fact, in the UK, if you speak out against Parliament, in any way that the Crown decides is a threat, that is definitely a crime.
Yeah.
And
wasn't
Queen and the lackeys will take care of it.
Count
Dankula.
Dankula? Yeah, Count Dankula was
Dankula.
charged.
Yeah,
charged with a crime because his dog. He made a joke about his dog.
Yeah,
He
his
did a
dog
joke.
showed you exactly how
That's
big
pretty
Kyle
cringe.
was. He's this tall, by the way. But yeah, dude. No, I have lived all over the world, man, and I'm back in America. And I lived in Japan, dude. And it was freaking awesome, but it wasn't America awesome. And I mean, dude, I get it. You could say America sucks all you want. I just suggest you go travel. Go travel south a little bit. Go see how great they got it down in
Denmark,
Mexico.
Belgium, Finland,
the old
Switzerland,
Bacchanal.
Uruguay, New Zealand, Portugal,
I would actually
Sweden,
love
France,
to move to
Canada,
America one day.
Estonia, Argentina, Austria, Ireland, Norway, Italy, Austria, Germany, Jamaica, United Kingdom, Iceland.
You do realize
Wow.
when we
You
talk
think
about
they have
freedom
free
of
speech in Brazil?
We're
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
last on the list. That's crazy.
What list is this? What is this list?
Yeah, what list is that?
Next, you're going to tell us like Vosh is an upstanding
World
citizen.
population review.
That guy, man, on Twitter
population
lately.
review.
That guy on Twitter, I've been trying. Oh man, I swear he's
I'm
trolling.
actually back on Twitter.
Here we go.
Anyway, oh yeah, where's this list? You putting it in chat?
There you go.
Worldpopulationreview.com.
That sounds like Inquirer.
What? Hold on, I'm looking up what that is.
Bro.
That just sounds like some weird website.
That's like Jerry Springer, but in paperback, dude.
Nice. Mock the source. That's real good, guys.
No, I'm looking.
That's definitely
I'm looking,
not a fallacy at all.
I'm looking it up right now. It just sounds funny. Come on.
Sure.
If I gave you a
Sounds
world
funny.
population review link about climate change, and would
Have
you
you
not
never
be like,
been on World Population Review?
I
It
have
has
not, but-
lots of data sets. There's plenty of statistics on it, like about
so they're saying
all
that,
sorts of shit.
So hold on, I gotta
Yeah,
see this. Hold on.
My main concern is how do they define what is freedom of speech, considering the fact
It's
that
based on
some of the
a lot
European
of factors. You can go read
countries
it. I posted.
have
Wait a
restrictions
second.
on
Wait a
what you can say.
Yeah, he's got it here. Is one a good ranking or is it a bad ranking? It seems like one is a good ranking, so we're among the top best.
It is.
Hey,
Yeah.
hold on. I just need to point out, okay, that the number 5 source on this list is coming from the World Economic Forum.
Yeah, that's a great source there.
And I would say that if there are free speech issues in America,
last source out of 5.
Authority filled with facts that is coming from the smoke of their ass.
One of them came from Pew Research. Pew Research. You don't like that one? That's above. That's above.
Dougie.
Oh,
Dougie,
yeah, 2 of them.
I do appreciate you here,
Yeah.
buddy. Just so you know.
Exactly.
I didn't even know I could jump in like this, but I did.
Yeah, come on in. It's open.
I hopped in earlier, but we were eating dinner, so I hopped off, and now I'm back. So.
Okay, so we're talking about free speech, and Obscene Dougie is actually, well, it's not him, it's this website saying that America's 13th. I would say that we do actually have,
hold on.
we have
Can
some
we
very serious
discuss
free
this?
speech. Yeah, sure.
Somebody in your chat said, if America is so horrible, then why do you want all the brown people here? You want to talk about that? What's the belief behind that? What, brown people are making it worse? Is that what y'all believe?
If America
Can we
is so
discuss
horrible,
that?
then why do you want all the brown people here?
I think the implicit statement is that brown people are making it worse.
No. He's saying that's not what he's saying. He's saying if America's so bad, then why is there all this encouragement? Why are all these brown people coming here? Yeah, why are they coming here to this horrible racist white country?
It's so terrible.
I don't think that's
it
what
must
he
be
said.
better than where they're
It
coming
is.
from, right?
He said, why do you want all the brown people here? Implying, one, that I want immigration, and 2, that immigration is actually bad and I shouldn't want that.
Are you against
immigration? Is fine if it's not illegal immigration. We got to know who's coming in here.
Here we go with
But
that.
but it should be limited.
That's crazy, bro.
Some of the highest income countries in the world, like Germany and Japan, have very restrictions on citizenship. It's hard to get dual citizenship in Japan, and you can't even be a
Japan's,
dual citizen in
super
Japan.
Japan is they're hard. They're probably the most hardcore. Or
Japan
up there.
is really strict.
Yeah.
No, New Zealand is harder to get into.
I'm actually kind of a Sidnat in
As an
this
Australian
regard.
citizen, I can get the freedoms in New Zealand because we have what's called a travel freedom. Like it's similar to the EU, like you have freedom of movement. But if you're an Australian citizen, you can live in New Zealand permanently without citizenship.
Well, I mean, y'all are still under the crown.
That's dope, actually.
I'm actually kind of a civnat in this regard, right? I'm actually perfectly fine with wide open borders. All we have to do is just remove the welfare state entirely, just nuke it from the ground up, leave nothing remaining of the welfare state. And like when my ancestors immigrated to Texas, like ages and ages ago, right? And there was absolutely nothing to do to survive other than work for your fucking food. Hey, that's fine. Everyone can come over. Anyone that wants to come over, fine.
You want fucking coal towns again? Is that what you want? You want Elon Musk to build our towns up with his own laws from the ground up, and us to be subservient to him and his plan? Is that what you want?
Yes, he will be the great golden MAGA king.
You want to work for Tesla. You want to shop at the Tesla Mart, and you want to go get your Tesla gas.
Let me tell you about what
you want to have.
I'm
Tesla
actually.
Wi-Fi.
Let me tell you about what I'm actually doing.
Guys, don't talk over each other.
And Tesla bucks are the only thing you can spend at the Tesla grocery mart. Oh,
let me
sounds
let me
great.
tell you
Come
let me
okay?
tell you what
There
I'm
must be
actually
mining
doing.
towns with independent businesses.
Let me tell you what I'm actually doing. I'm actually working on setting up one of those towns right now. Okay? This company that I've been working for about 3 years now and have not taken a paycheck once from. Okay, we're actually doing that right
You must
the hell
hate
now.
unions, right?
I actually do kind of hate unions.
Yeah, you hate workers getting their fair share, huh?
No,
we
it's not
should
about fair
we should
share.
pay less for labor, right?
I-
Right? Are you with me? Are you
So-
with me? Pay less for labor?
Are you gonna let me fucking answer?
Pay them in town bucks?
Come on,
No.
Obscene.
Let me fucking answer this because I've actually
finish.
Go ahead.
I've actually worked for a fucking union before, okay? And I'm actually for workers' rights. I'm for organized bargaining and things like that. My problem is that when unions become established, and particularly because I've lived and worked, okay? I've been to at least a dozen countries, and I've actually lived and worked for a number of years in a extremely union controlled state. No.
Okay. I was
What countries are those
Why would
unions
that
came
actually
from?
matter? Why would that actually matter? I mean, for a guy who's
it makes
never
a
been
small difference, but
for a guy that's never actually been out of the country, I'm just curious how you think that
I mean,
RWDS,
just because I've never been out of the country doesn't.
What countries did you work in that actually involved unions?
Guys,
no. I wasn't talking a country. I was talking about a state. So I actually lived and worked in a state that was basically entirely union controlled, and this is the problem. Okay, is when is union? I am an anarchist. Okay, I'm a voluntary.
I see that.
I am against all organizations of massive amounts of power. Okay, right. My whole thing is when unions get too strong, then they start shutting everything else down. And you get to a point where, like, a lot of the guys that I knew that were union guys, some of the guys that I was working with, right, they would actually lean a certain direction, like, let's say, a little bit more to the right. But the union itself would be, like, fucking, one step off from the Communist Party, Democratic Socialism, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Yep.
That's a problem when the union is no longer. It is a problem when you have a massive organized union that basically controls all labor in the state that doesn't represent the rights of its fucking workers. And you also can't be employed in that trade, in that area, locale, state, whatever have you. It was in New England.
Yeah, that's usually in the Northeast where there aren't right to work states. Have you ever worked in a trade?
Where did Ginger go? Sorry. Go ahead.
It was in and out.
I mean, because unions are mostly around trades and entertainment. So do you work in any of those industries?
No.
Have you ever worked with a union?
Nope.
Okay.
I know what they do though.
No.
I don't think you have to work with a union to know what the purpose of a union is. I know there's shitty unions out there, and I'm not trying to defend those.
There's a lot of shitty unions.
That's why. Well, that's why if there's actually a shitty union, there should be multiple unions so you can have one to choose from without going for a very monopolized.
Some people are against unions altogether. The whole reason of asking this was to get to the point that these fucking these capitalist towns, these fucking coal mine towns, where they had the fucking coal mine stores and the coal mine bucks and the whatever that shit. They would literally kill the unions once they unionize like that.
Yeah.
I'm
not for that.
Excuse me.
They're smart.
I'm not
Starbucks. That is dog shit. You obviously don't care about workers then.
It's actually the opposite. So
it's the opposite.
Unions,
so
yes.
the unions were the workers. They were the coal miners. They would go out and get guns because they would hire mercenary squad to kill the workers unionizing on strike and shit.
Are you done yet?
What?
Are you done yet?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
All right. So here's the deal. When it comes to unions, when they started out, they were great.
No. Okay. Cool.
When they started out,
this is your Rob Moore tactic. I get it. You're gonna ignore everything I said and then go on something else.
You haven't even let him fucking say a goddamn thing before you interject and try to accuse him of deflection.
Guys, remember there's six. There's like six of us, one of him. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, so here's the deal. When unions started, unions were a great thing. That's because we didn't have labor laws really that existed in America. As labor laws started to progress, by the way, they have gotten pretty damn good. Especially, what is up to par for you? Because I will tell you right now, what unions mostly do is they refuse to actually get rid of the poor workers who actually bring down the morale of the workforce. They protect those crappy people. They stagnate wages while they continue to take usually about
wages?
Yes, usually
I mean,
while
all the latest wins for unions have been huge, monumental.
So what's inflation at right now?
What does that have to do with what unions?
That's very important when you're talking about wage stagnation.
Sure.
So
but I think there's a lot more factors contributing to wage stagnation than unions who are actively fighting against that.
So when you're pushing for a 3% raise with 8.9% inflation, that is actually less than stagnation. That is actually losing buying power. The unions only go up for their collective bargaining usually on a 3 to 5 year contract period. Okay, and that's actually kind of a good thing. It shows some stability, right? Being quite generous. But the deal is they're taking union dues from these individuals, usually on the scale of about 1 hour per week. So
sometimes more.
Sometimes more. It depends on the union. I've been a member of the Teamsters, UAW. I work in aviation, man. So I've worked with a lot, even AFCO, SIU, and stuff like that. I've worked with all these unions, and you know what?
So they should be doing more, and the companies shouldn't be fighting back against them as hard and trying to keep the wages down.
Do you understand how business works, my guy?
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I understand. Yeah, they're looking for the profit. Yeah. So
yeah. So
what's wrong with profit?
Well, when you put profit in front of ethics, for instance, there's a lot wrong with it.
So what?
Wow. Wait, who is this?
DK Records entered.
DK.
A wild DK Records just appeared.
I'm just really nice, so I don't barge into conversations.
It's
welcome.
I mean, that's true. I mean, thanks. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of wage theft.
So my whole
what
thing,
is
right?
Wage theft? What do you actually call wage theft? Because I'd really like to drill down on this. This is interesting. What is wage theft?
I
mean, there's real wage theft that occurs a lot in this country, but there's also like the idea that
a lot of that actually happens coming from a guy who supposedly lives in Texas. A lot of that wage theft actually happens from wetbacks swimming across a river and getting illegal jobs.
That's not wage theft.
Are you referring that they are underpaid? That workers are actually not owed to what they paid their in the hourly wage?
That's
Is that
the
what you're
general idea I was getting at with saying wage theft, but the actual wage theft, like the economic.
Okay, so let me ask you this:
as occurs.
I assume that you believe in a minimum wage, correct?
Scandinavian countries have no minimum wage.
It's a lot more complicated than just yes or no minimum wage.
Well, no. I'm just asking, and I actually
in this country right now, yes.
Okay, and so what should that look like?
To be a minimum
I'm
wage
not
should
an
be the
economic
bare
expert.
minimum of
I
what.
really don't.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. There's arguments for $15 and stuff like that. Now I
wouldn't know the exact amount, but just like a livable wage, something that is livable in your area.
Okay,
minimum wages destroy small business. It only benefits big business.
Well,
no. Hold on. Let me actually address this because this is
mega
actually
corporations are the reason that's such a problem.
That's
why.
Walmart, who actually subsidizes fucking half of its, or I think it's closer to a third to half, a quarter, something retarded of its actual wage comes actually out of the pockets of taxpayers. But regardless, all right, I am let's say a chief at a small to medium business. We just acquired a 30,000 square foot factory. There are some jobs that we would like to have done, that I would like to have done, that are not worth minimum wage, that are not worth somebody working, basically coming in full time and being able to, get some little apartment. Things like, hey, we just want somebody to show up and sweep the floor every once in a while, right? It's a great job for a high school kid that doesn't actually need to be out on his own, that doesn't, is probably still staying home with his parents, right? And
I have something to say to that, though, is that the world has been so flipped upside down that you have, like, for instance, when I was a kid coming out of high school, you were competing with women that were in their 30s to late 60s, getting what you would consider to be a high school job because there wasn't at the time. Job.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing kind of collapses on itself when you're talking about what you're saying, and I agree with you, but it's like, well, how did we get to where we're at?
Well, there's how we got to where we're at, right? Is you expanded the labor pool by a factor of 2 all at once.
Okay.
Yeah, that is actually part of it. There's so where I'm trying to get to with the whole minimum wage questions. Okay, I've been all over. Okay, it's Americans are the most overpaid for the least amount of work that they do. I spent a couple years teaching in inner cities. I taught U.S. history and world history. Loved the students, hated the parents because parents fail to recognize that sometimes their kids are assholes. It is what it is. But I had children who were on meal assistance who couldn't afford to, buy their own lunch, and I thought that was a great program. It really was. Look, we don't need kids hungry in school, right? Problem is,
how do you expect to learn if you don't have food in your belly?
Yeah, exactly. So, but these children were walking around wearing Yeezys and carrying around $1,000 cell phone.
Oh, yeah.
$1,000 cell phones and stuff. But they were on government assistance for food. The American worker, I'm going to be quite frank, in places like Turkey, the median wage there is about $60 a month. Now, I don't think Americans need to be paid that little, but we have a hyperinflated idea of what is required, what is a basic necessity of life. Some people will sit there and tell you things like, oh, the internet is a need. And maybe in today's society, maybe there is
It definitely is
some truth to that. I don't think it's a need. I think it is
to participate in society to participate in society at any level at this point. You need internet. Schooling requires internet now.
Right. Oh, you need internet, but you don't need 100 megabit down.
Yeah.
Download.
Sure. Yeah. I
Well, with
agree.
Starlink,
I didn't say everybody needed the fucking.
You just need the
I'm just
ability to
saying.
access the digital public
internet.
square.
Yeah.
Starlink, it's going to be everywhere anyway.
And not everyone can get into a library.
I would also like to point out that specifically regarding the United States, the U.S. has one of the highest costs per megabit of any nation in the world.
Yes.
For the
When I
record,
lived in
it's
Japan,
realistic too.
When I lived in Japan, I had government subsidized fiber optic terabyte connections.
I'm talking about a 1-to-1 fiber optic connection.
Yeah. I could.
And
I
instead
could
we get
download them.
monopoly.
those days.
And instead we get monopoly areas where we can only get Comcast, and then we have to be on the phone with their
correct, whoever's saying the monopoly thing. A lot of these places or a lot of these companies agree to stay out of each other's way, and I think that's
especially in rural areas, it's fucked. I hate middle of nowhere Texas. It's the fucking worst.
It's a de facto monopoly, and that's the fucked up part. Part of it is regulation.
Need is a word that lost all meaning. Bro, in this context, need means like to participate in society, not to survive. Like we need more than basic necessities. It's like we have to participate in society. We need a job and shit. Like you can't. Ugh.
I mean, there's a lot of places you can still apply in person.
Okay, you need to be educated, and then you need a job, and then you need transportation.
No, we actually offer
communication, and
So let's talk about education. So everyone usually gets free high school up to a high school. You don't think that that's sufficient enough, right?
I would say it is.
And my follow-up question to that is...
Sorry, I didn't hear the question. What?
So everyone gets free high school, and is that's not sufficient, right? What level of education do you think is required to live in today's society?
it could be
Technical trade?
sufficient. It could be sufficient, but our education
okay.
system is trash.
When you have
So,
trade schools, you don't have to
agreed.
necessarily have to go to college. We need more people in trade schools, HVAC, you know.
Yeah, I'd recommend trade.
Yeah, so I'm an
I got a
avionics
forklift
technician.
license.
I'm an aviation. I'm an avionics technician. I work in education. I actually train adults how to work on aircraft. That is
brilliant,
kind
actually.
of that's what I do for a living. That's my day job. It's something that education is a passion for me. But I will tell you, our education system is failing us because let's talk about things like student debt. Okay, right now the argument is that the average high school diploma recipient doesn't understand the basic idea of things like compounded interest, simple interest, and things like that. Okay, that is definitely a failing of the education system.
Yeah, they don't teach you about 401ks or your tax returns or how to file any of these things.
Well, I can't remember the last time I actually saw anything actually educational being taught in the modern educational. And just so you know, I've got like 32.
It's educational, but
I know it's indoctrinational, which is the whole point of the Prussian education system. I have 32 educators in 3 generations in my family because we were also fucking ranchers, okay? And ranching and education sort of went hand in hand because that's actually why the school year is set up the way it was, is around growing and raising your own food.
Yeah,
bro, I love y'all's anecdotes a lot. They're great.
It's
I
not
love
an
you
anecdote.
all, but
I grew up in Australia.
I love your smile
Hey, guys, one at a
and your
time.
confident attitude.
6
One
hours.
at a time, guys. You're turning into audio.
Hold on,
cable.
guys.
I'm
Obscene's
out.
got to go.
Peace.
Hey
It
man,
was
thanks for
lovely.
hanging out. Come back.
And
again.
I love you all. I hope you all take care.
You too, bud.
Good night.
Man, now it's not just a sausage fest, but it's a right-wing sausage fest.
Well, I'm not necessarily a conservative. I tend
Let's
to
go
lean
extreme right wing.
I'm a pirate libertarian.
Aircraft,
I'm a pirate political
Aircraft,
person.
can you play devil's advocate pretty good?
Yeah, man. Let's play.
I can too, man. Like I've been labeled that for
That's
quite
good.
a while though.
That's good.
I mean, to be a staunch conservative or a staunch lefty or what have you is kind of a closed-minded closed-minded way of thinking, not an observation. But I observe people doing that. I should say.
Why are we all here? Like, we like fleshing things out to get to some kind of a truth. You know, that's why. At least that's why I like arguing and debating or whatever.
Right.
I just like making fun of people's penis.
Melania, get in here. They're making fun of my penis again. It's a corkscrew for a reason, guys. I can hit every part.
Look. They used to call me Old Tuna Can. The bottom's a mystery, but the sides are all mine.
Yeah, I used to be called Tripod and Pringle Can in high school. You know.
See, y'all are all going on length, man. Look, I'm just going on pure girth, no length whatsoever. When I say I want to stick the head in, I'm talking about the whole goddamn thing.
Why not?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
All these people.
Well, hey, we're all we can all hang out here. I'm gonna end the stream here soon because it's been going forever. But go ahead.
I was just saying, what can be done though to actually fix the education system to where we know it's not good? But what can be done besides?
Start by getting the diddlers out of the elementaries. That's for sure.
Well, for that, but I mean on a wide scale, how can it be done?
I actually, when I was in college, I was actually studying. Who's Batman? I was actually studying education. I've got 32 educators and 3 generations in my family. I've, it's something I'm quite intimately familiar with. The modern American education system is based upon the Prussian education system, which was literally designed to produce submissive, subservient workers.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we work on a block system.
Mm-hmm.
And right now we don't teach critical thoughts. And one of the things that one of the problems that I had with the administrators that I worked with, they would get upset when I would talk about things like the Emancipation Proclamation. And so one of my favorite questions was, did Lincoln actually ever free the slaves?
He sure did.
And everyone's like, well, yeah. How did he free the slaves? Well, through the Emancipation Proclamation. And I said, it actually enslaved more people than it actually freed because it didn't free anyone, and it
You got
allowed
to
the
remember,
North.
you got to think in the context of the time that we're speaking of.
Yes,
you can't.
They
you
got
can't,
rid
you
of
can't
the ability to
apply
put things in context,
current
though.
knowledge to Abraham Lincoln, because if you did, he's a racist. So is Thomas Jefferson. So is everybody else. But you got to understand that, like, they couldn't just flip the racism switch off. They had to still play the game.
Well, yeah. So Lincoln was an abolitionist when it came to slavery. Okay,
Amen. Finally, somebody gets it.
And his goal was to end slavery, and he ended up getting that accomplished through passage of the 13th Amendment.
They're like, well, he owned slaves too, and it's like, well, yeah,
no,
he did.
his in-laws owned slaves. He didn't own slaves.
Right.
He found it morally repugnant.
I don't know. Like, was the whole slavery thing race-based? Because I'm Australian myself, so I don't usually understand
it
what
actually
is.
was not. It was actually not. So the first slave owner in the United States was actually a black man who wanted
He was
more.
He was a brutal guy.
He was an legitimate African American, and he wanted more Africans in America. So he started bringing them over through the common practice of indentured
I always ask them who sold the slaves initially.
I heard about him. I didn't know that.
We're not allowed to talk about that. Oy vey, shut it down.
Yeah, when they talk about teaching history in school, that I always roll my eyes because it's like, yeah, I want history taught. I want all of it taught, the full context, all of it. And it's like they just want to teach a very narrow version of it that advances, their narrative or their agenda or whatever.
Well,
that's why I don't like the current school system.
The interesting part about education today, especially when it comes to history and being a former history teacher, I found it interesting. When I would go to interviews, I would usually give my interview lesson that I would give was usually on the Emancipation Proclamation, and the administrators would always say, "You have a unique perspective on that." And I said, "Well, is it really?"
What do you mean? This is America. You have a unique perspective. Like, I think what you're saying sounds reasonable.
I would tell them, I'm like, look, we can all agree that morally speaking, slavery was bad. But because of technology, that's why slavery existed at the time. And once things like the cotton gin was invented, you actually saw slavery start to organically disappear even before the passage of the 13th
It was no longer economical for slaves to be kept when you could have a machine do the thing.
You guys got to remember too, even when it was illegalized, a lot of slaves were like, "Well, dude, I have nowhere else to go. I want to continue to do this and do." And most people would be like, "Well, that's ridiculous." Like, no, it's not. Actually,
No, it's not. It's like, all right, when I was in New England, we didn't get to this, but there was a company. I had a friend. She showed up and she was like, "Oh, my friend's son just got hired on at this company." And I wish I could remember the name of it. I want to say it was like Thermos or Igloo or somebody like that. But basically, everybody at the factory, from the bottom tier janitors to the C-level execs, were making minimum wage. And then there was a profit sharing incentive. Basically, like all of the profits of the company got divvied up, sort of in line with your status at the company. And so you'd okay, you're living in New England, one of the most expensive places in the U.S., right? With, $3,000 a month rents for a fucking shithole apartment, that sells for, $80,000 anywhere else in the flyover states. But, you're making minimum wage up there, so you're bringing home, I don't know, $1,200 to $1,500 a month. But at the end of the year, you would be janitor, and if they had a great year, you'd get like a $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 bonus. I mean, and the C-level execs would be like in the 8 figures, right? But that was sort of how they did, and it was almost unheard of and impossible to get a job there because everybody was happy and nobody left. And I see that from a lot of the stories that I've read and some of the actual like smaller historical sites nobody likes to talk about because they kind of contradict the grand narrative of slavery in the U.S. There were a lot of slaves that actually liked it because they had good owners. And
the movie The Patriot is a good example of that. He treated his slaves. I'll throw that in quotations. Good.
Well, if you think of it. the way you say about slaves, it's like John Tolton. Who's that guy? Who's that guy who did blackface? John Tolton.
Justin Trudeau did that.
Justin Trudeau did blackface, yeah.
Well, not
You
ju-
talking
not
about the
Justin
governor
Trudeau.
of Virginia, governor?
Ralph Northam.
Yeah.
Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, Northram. You're muted or something. Can't hear you.
Yeah, it's not picking.
No, I'm trying to look. I'm trying to
There
look
you
for
go.
that singer, an American singer.
Oh,
So many people have done blackface.
yeah. Blackface is blackface.
When I was in 5th grade and we did presidential things, anybody that represented a black president that wasn't black did blackface as a 5th grader.
I did do a stream one time, painted up in NPC face with the black nose and the black triangle for the nose and everything else.
You know, I kind of question the outrage about blackface, honestly. Like, what's
right?
Like, really? Like, is it
Al
really
Jolson. I
Dude,
found a guy.
There was a person that put on one of those masks that like get rid of blackheads, and they tried to conflate that into them having. Well, yeah, they have a
I remember
black
that
mask on.
So ridiculous.
Look, you really can't be offended by blackface when you allow people like Sean King and Rachel Dolezal to run.
I think that's worse. Personally, I think blackface is selective
I found
outrage.
this guy. I found this American guy, Al Jolson. He's the American singer who did blackface, but he was also actually very popular and liked within the African American community. Like while he did blackface, he actually did many things for the African Americans back in those days.
Right.
So the history of blackface, for what I've seen, and slavery, it's complicated. Okay, there are many things that actually suggest. Well,
There's
slavery
context,
was all
you're saying.
bad, and that means all slave owners were bad. Well,
I
we'll look deeper into that.
It was
I don't think it's actually that complicated. I think people try to add complications to it. One, to make them feel smarter, and B, to try to make it something. Because here's the thing, okay? Like I'm a child of the '80s and the '90s. Like some of the funniest comedy sketches I saw were like Chris Rock and some other black dudes going around in whiteface. Right? There's an SNL skit.
Wayans Brothers?
Oh yeah. Well,
White chicks, man.
But
white chicks, white chicks, yeah. How come nobody's
Why
mad
is no
about
one
that?
getting outraged over that, right?
on a whole nother level, okay, like as a sci-fi fan, okay, I can't even count the number of actors I've seen in alien face. What's wrong with fucking,
basically what you're asking is where's the limit on your outrage and everything else?
I'm
I
sorry,
think it's entertainment business.
and like specifically with the Marvel movies, okay, one of my biggest issues with like the race casting nonsense was fucking Heimdall. Don't Idris Elba. He played the role to a perfect fucking T. I think he was a fabulous cast for that character. I'm still pissed off that he's fucking black. Heimdall's supposed to be the whitest of the Asgardians. It's in the comics for 30 fucking years. The character is established. He's the fucking ginger.
I don't know who the Asgardians are. I'm feeling really embarrassed right now. But my biggest qualm about comic books to movies is that they get rid of all the redheads, which I am, and they replace them with normally black females. But what series is the Asgardians part
That
of?
is weird. It's like literally
That's
replacing
Thor.
white
Thor.
people.
It's any.
Gingers have no souls. That's why they don't get cast in movies that often.
I think the whole blackface thing goes back down to Hollywood and
I mean, if you watch
what
the
called?
latest chunk of Marvel anything, everything has been getting more and more woke. And
Well,
it's
that's
like,
because of Disney. That's because of Disney.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Wait, does Disney own Marvel and DC?
Yeah.
Disney owns Marvel. I don't know if they own DC.
I don't know if they own DC, actually. I don't know if they own DC.
I don't know if they own DC, but I do know that Marvel bought out. Marvel did buy.
The last time I checked, Warner Brother owns Disney. I mean, Warner Brother owns DC.
Yes.
DC, yeah.
Well, look. I mean, if I can sort of cross a line, basically all of these companies are actually owned by like the same 6 companies that are owned by like the same 4 or 5
and then
families
the companies that own that are like BlackRock and Vanguard.
Yeah, and we're not allowed to talk about who actually owns those and sits on their boards, but
Oy vey.
I know. Hey, that's a Polish thing. My grandmother used to say "Oy all the time, or to each his own.
You know
Well,
something? You know something
I'm
I always
of the
found really
tribe,
weird.
so it's okay. I can say that.
I don't really buy in, and Brett and these guys will tell you I will usually delete the more blatant like anti-Semitic kind of thing. I've never been into that stuff, but I do question. There's some weird things. There are some weird things like I can't think of his name all of a sudden. He came out. I'm gonna have to find that, or else the story doesn't really mean much. But he came out and he said a bunch of anti-white and anti-Jewish stuff.
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon. There you go.
Yeah, Nick Cannon.
So look, everybody.
More melanin, more soul.
Yeah. Look, everybody listen. Everybody listen. Go, if you don't believe me, get on right now on Google and Google Nick Cannon and what he did. And what you're going to find is over and over again, like demands for an apology for his anti-Semitic comments, not for the anti-white ones. And they don't. A lot of stories won't even mention that. They won't even say anything about that. And it's like they demand an apology. They don't. And eventually he did apologize, but not for the anti-Semitic, just for the anti. And he was allowed back in after that. I'm like,
anti-white. There's no
repercussions for it. Gina Carano actually gets fired for actually saying way less worse.
It was a meme. It was basically a meme. Is what she lost her career over. Technically.
Basically, what we're describing right now is a double standard.
Yeah.
I'm great.
My whole issue.
I obsess over him.
Like
but there's something going on there, though. There's something significant to that.
And this is how
it's more than a double standard.
So, like, one of the things about Texas is Texas used to be the state where people go to escape the miscegenation laws.
Texas turned into California.
No, like I'm talking like 19th century, like pre-modern era, pre-welfare state. Like they had miscegenation laws in all of the Jim Crow South, and Texas was like, well, we don't really give a shit. Like we got enough land. You do your own thing, take care of yourself, and we don't really care. I mean, it's always.
Sorry, continue. I'll get to that. There was something about apartheid I wanted to talk about.
Oh, it's just like, and Houston is actually the most diverse city in the world. Like the only city with more Nigerians in it is fucking in Nigeria, and there hasn't been like any majority in Texas in I couldn't even tell you when. Like it's always
Nigerians are based.
I just know
like first generation Nigerians who just
can I ask you guys a question?
They're based as hell.
Can I ask you guys a question? I'm sorry, go ahead. You weren't done yet. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that Nigerians are like Californians. They come from a land that's so corrupt they have no idea what it actually is to live with true values, morals, and decency.
Most Nigerians too don't like American black people either. I don't know if you guys know that.
Same with Somalians.
I heard somebody say earlier that a lot of the people coming here from California to Texas, where I am, are liberals. Most of the people fleeing California to Texas right now are conservative.
They have no idea what it actually is to be conservative.
Well, what I find interesting, this is a story just really quickly I wanted to say before I forget that what was happening in Texas, there was a smokehouse, and it's Alex Jones that broke the story, so hold on, let me get it. All right, listen, folks, we went down to this smokehouse, and we had these liberals over here. I can't remember where it was, but essentially what they're trying to do is get this place shut down because they are vegan and they can smell the smoke of the meats being smoked lofting into their apartment buildings.
That was in Austin.
That
was in Austin. There you go. Okay.
Vegans. I just hate
what the hell? You're trying to shut a smokehouse that's been around since 1912 or 1908 down?
What? Are you serious? This is a joke, right?
No,
not a joke.
No, it's not a joke. Let me ask y'all this. So this is something I've been kicking around. If you are a parent, if you're a parent raising your children and you raise them vegan, do you consider that child abuse?
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's anti-science.
That is child abuse, okay? I have been...
That's debatable because you're a parent, dude. There's certain things that's debatable.
No,
I don't know.
His audio keeps cutting out, bro.
Is what child abuse?
No,
veganism. That it is child abuse. Giving children a vegan unless they consent is child abuse because they won't have the nutrients to be able to feed them.
You're
Like there
depriving
have been
them.
babies.
I disagree. Even if they do consent, it is your job as a parent to raise them right. Just that's like saying Vosh saying like a child can consent. No, they cannot. It's your it's your job and duty. It's your job and your duty as a parent to guide your children in the right direction, even if that means telling them, no, you're wrong, you're fucking up, slap them in the face, on the ass, whatever the hell, and do it right.
Trans kids are like vegan cats. They're both
Like
decided by
I've
the
seen,
parent.
like
It is the vegan
where
kid.
I get the vegan news from, it's from my comedian Isaac Butterfield.
You trying to kill it? You trying to kill the stream? I know it's been late night.
No.
Like,
I probably do need. No, I want us to stay here and like hang out or whatever. I'm probably gonna end the stream soon.
Okay.
I don't usually.
I just want to make sure. Like I don't want to like start dragging this out.
No, you guys are good. You guys are good. Actually, there's like almost
doing
nobody
well.
watching at this point, like 30. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and just end it. But I do enjoy like everybody here and like Aircraft Sparky. I appreciate you coming, man. Your support and Darth Jacob. Buddy, you've been around forever. I love that you're still here, man. And Drunk Batman. We need to play some Fortnite, man. We haven't played like at all.
Oh, we do.
Not a
Hey,
big fan of
Jerome.
Fortnite.
I need you to send me.
I'm sorry.
Send me your logo, because I do the wood burn.
Yeah.
I need you to send me a high quality image to burn to send to you.
Oh yeah, man. Really? That'd
That's
be
awesome.
I'd hang that up for sure.
Yeah.
Well, guess what's happening in my country, Australia?
Oh, thanks, DK, man.
Oh, Australia. It's a lot of
Australia.
crazy shit going on there.
Check out DK Records. He streams a lot. Sorry, guys. What were you saying?
World-ending cuckery in Australia.
Well, not just that. It's election season. Next week, Saturday, election day.
I just want to know who here is
are
going
you
to
allowed to
the
vote
team
there?
and bring Nancy out for dinner
Yes.
and drinks.
I can vote here. But guess what makes my country different from your country?
I was
You have
just
to vote.
joking.
Mandatory
Parliamentary
voting.
system?
Exactly. It is. You are required by
Agree there.
law to register and vote in Australia.
That's awesome.
You know, I've got
I'm
mixed
for it.
feelings about
I'm
that.
honestly
In
for
a
it.
way, I'm
It would
kind of
stop people
for
from
it, but
bitching.
Still
making
alive.
it a national holiday, I have an issue with.
I'm
That's 'cause I'm a staunch
absolutely
capitalist.
I am absolutely against mandatory voting. I actually think we need less voters rather than more. I think the only people who should be voting are those who are actually financially involved and entangled in the support and operation of the.
I
country.
agree.
The
but it might be a
landowners.
good way that
Guys,
people
real
couldn't
quick,
bitch.
real quick for this time. Hey, everybody who's still watching, if you guys want to get in on this, come to my Discord. The link is in the description. Come in here and you just join. But real quick, I want to also thank my brother here, Keg. He is a mod on this Discord server. Want to thank him for being here, and Right Wing Death Squad, and DK Records as well. And he just super chatted $3, which is awesome. Appreciate it. And guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here because I'm worn out as fuck. All right, I'm a stay-at-home dad with 3 kids. I was worn out like 8 hours ago. So
I still got the energy because it's actually day.
I'm gonna stick around actually here in Discord for a little bit for a while, but I'm gonna end the stream because I'm not saying much and it's just like. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna end it. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Appreciate it. I may start doing this every week, maybe. Again, I used to do it every week. Maybe we'll start again. Anyway.
Drone Tech, give me a shout
Drone
out.
Tech,
Not
send me
shout out. I
that.
mean, not a shout out. Give me a shout, like, and we can maybe work something up.
Yeah,
Like,
we've been. You've come in a couple times. I've been wanting to do that, and I do want to shout. I've shot you out a couple times. Well, definitely go check out DK Records.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, I know
didn't
you
mean
didn't.
that,
I know
like-
you didn't. I know you didn't. I know you didn't. But yeah,
Are you on
appreciate
YouTube?
that.
I will.
Yes,
I will
sir.
do that. We should do that.
Hey, Drone,
Yeah,
Yeah.
send me that image.
I will send that. Thank you, man. I really
All right.
appreciate it.
Yep.
But I don't know if everybody's gonna